Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
This week in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, a beloved local man is found dead, leading to a nationwide hunt for who police are calling the killer grandma, but her path of murder and cruelty doesn't end there. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another absolutely crazy, insane edition of Small Town Murder. If you listened to the intro, you went, killer grandma. Yeah, it's going to be a weird one, man. It's a lot of there's a lot of crazy stuff there. Before we get to that, though, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets are for sale for 2025. We're very excited. First up, Pittsburgh. Get in there.
Or around or nearby.
Get your tickets now.
Let's go.
February the 7th. We are in Pittsburgh. We cannot wait. So get in there. We enjoy Pittsburgh a lot. So please sell it out so we can go back to Pittsburgh at another time, because we like to come back because we like it there. And then Columbus the next night. Also get your tickets right now. You are first up. So we can't wait for that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You also should obviously listen to our other two shows, Crime and Sports and Your Stupid Opinions, which are goddamn hilarious, and we think you'll enjoy them. You don't have to like sports. You can just, it's fun. And then you also, if you've got enough of this, you need more. We have got Patreon for you. Give you all the bonus episodes you could want here. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all the bonus episodes.
So much.
Anybody, $5 a month or above, you're going to get not only an absolutely enormous back catalog of hundreds of bonus episodes immediately upon subscription, but new ones every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder, and you get
it
all of it. That's right. This week, what we're going to talk about for crime and sports, and you don't really have to care about sports for this, we're going to talk about Travis Rudolph, who was a recent NFL player in 2017-18 and just finished up a murder trial as well. So we'll get into all of that. And then for small town murder, we're going to do part 2 of the West Memphis 3. Great. And we'll find out how the hell we even ended up where we ended up. How did they even need a documentary team to come on down there and check all that out? We'll talk all about it and more. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports. And not only that, you get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmy will mispronounce your name horribly, probably, but he wants to get it right. That's the important part. So that said, I think it's time for the disclaimer. It's a comedy show, everybody.
It is.
This is a comedy show. Everything is true. That's the sad and sick part is that unfortunately, none of this is made up for any kind of comedic effect or to make it more entertaining or, interesting or anything like that. You don't have to. These stories are absolutely insane. And you might say, well, how the hell do you make true crime and comedy go together? I think it's pretty easy, actually. Yeah. To me, it makes it more digestible. It's a little easier to take than somebody, and then her head was removed from her body. That's a little creepy to me. Yeah. And also, there's another way you do it, and this is what we do here, is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes.
But
we're not scumbags. See how that works?
The deal.
It's super easy to do there. So if you think that sounds like a good time to you and you want to hear a crazy story, this is for you. If you think that true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, you might not like the show. But no complaining later because we warned you. That said, I think it's time to sit back, everybody. Let's all clear the lungs. What do you say here?
Sure.
Arms to the sky, and let's all shout, "Shut up and give me murder." Let's do this, everybody.
Here we go.
Let's go on a trip, shall we? Let's do it. We're going to Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a lovely place.
We like Minnesota a lot. Yeah. We really do. This is Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, where we've never done a show out in the prairie there. We mainly stick to Minneapolis, but hey, it's all right. This is in southern Minnesota. It's about an hour and 20 minutes to Minneapolis, and also an hour, 20 minutes to our last Minnesota episode, which was in Woodbury, Minnesota. That was episode 516, The Office Stalker. I remember that was freaky weird story there. This is freaky weird. This is in Steele County, Steele with an E on the end of it there. Yeah. Steele County next to it. It's also a little bit of this town edges over into Dodge County as well. So
love that.
A couple of counties. Area code 507. The motto here, this is, you are really, really, really optimistic motto.
Yeah.
A great place to spend the next 100 years. Wow. I mean, shit, if you got it in you, sure.
Everything for 100 years. Huh?
100 years. Well, you're going to be there for 100 years, apparently, if you move there. Right. That's a very optimistic motto. History of this town. 1868, it started. They took the name of the surrounding Blooming Prairie Township.
Oh.
And they were like, let's just knock the township off. Very creative, people. Yeah. Very creative. Now, before Prohibition came into effect here, Blooming Prairie's presence near the intersection of all these counties made it a big-time place to stop and buy alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah, in 1917, Steele County was the only one of the four around it, Mower, Freeborn, Dodge, and Steele, to have alcohol for sale.
Yeah.
So you could both own and consume alcohol, but you could also sell it there, too. So
that's nice,
that was a big deal. So during the Prohibition Act, several tunnels were dug under the businesses on Main Street. They tunneled under Main Street for the purpose of making moonshine and being able to move it back and forth without being seen on the surface. Which
well done.
Is pretty goddamn funny. Because you picture that like in Chicago, there's things. In New York, it's, this is an old place to run. They snuck the liquor in. You don't think of it in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, of like,
no, you don't.
Let's dig a hole under Main Street so we can get the rum out. Reviews of this town here, there are only 3 reviews, and they're all 5 stars, which is crazy. We've never seen that before, so people seem to really like it here. Let's find out. 5 stars. I really like Blooming Prairie because all the people are kind, and there's a very strong sense of community. Everyone looks out for one another. It is a small town, but they have everything you need.
Okay.
Everything. Now, there's not a lot of people
for
here.
100 years, evidently.
All you're going to need for the next 100 years, everybody. 5 stars. I like living here. I know everyone, and everyone knows me. All right. It is a super friendly town where if something is happening, then everyone will find out fast. Gossip, in other words. That's what that says to me. And then 5 stars. Amazing little town with lots to offer. There's a park, a small pool, smaller class sizes, which means more one-on-one time with your children. There's even a small gym, which is helpful.
Yeah.
All right.
To get more kids?
I don't know what there's. I guess the
get
schools.
More face time with everybody
there's a park, a small pool, smaller class. I guess so. I guess the teacher gets to spend more time with your kids. I don't know. Population here, 2,074.
Great.
That's a tiny town. That is really little here. More females than males by a pretty decent amount, actually. Median age is just about around the national average. It's usually about 37 here. It's 36 and a half. About 50-50 married, just like kind of your typical suburb type of a place. Less people are single with children. Oh. More married with children type of people here. That's the type of place this is in the burbs out here. Race of this town, 92.8% white.
Oh, boy.
0.3% black, 6.7% Hispanic, and 0.2% 2 or more races. So it's Minnesota. I mean, outside of Minneapolis.
Incredibly. Ooh.
It's small town in southern Minnesota. Very religious here. 72.3% of the people here are religious, which is
really,
that's like Utah numbers. That's really high. Yeah. And most of the highest here is Lutheran, of course. It's going to be Lutheran if you've seen Drop Dead Gorgeous, the Lutheran, the Girls Lutheran Gun Club or whatever they had there. It's all that stuff. The unemployment rate here is about the national average. It's pretty close. It's right around a little under 5%. Median household income here, rest of the country, it's about $69,000. Here it is $57,625. So a little bit lower than the national average, and that's not great, but cost of living is also lower. So
that's helpful.
I think it works out. Here, cost of living, 100 is regular. Here it's 83. So a little bit lower. Median home cost here, $212,800, which is
This is why everybody loves it.
It's cheap. It's nice. I mean, and it's like an hour 20 from Minneapolis. So if you really, really wanted to live here and work in Minneapolis, you could.
Easy.
Yeah. You could. I mean, I understand in the Midwest, I don't know if that's really a desirable commute, but in a lot of places, that's nothing, an hour 20. I mean, if you live in New York or California or something, or Florida or Atlanta, it takes you an hour 20 to get to work.
And that's how you can make the money, so you're going to do it.
Yeah, why not, right? So anyway, we've convinced you. We've got you locked in. We know that what you're doing right now. You're about to head over and find a place to live in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota.
This is what you want.
We're one step ahead of you, everybody. We have for you the Blooming Prairie, Minnesota Real Estate Report. Okay, your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for $990, which is about $300 under the national average. That's not bad at all. Here's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,710 square foot house, which sounds great.
It's not bad,
Not bad. I mean, enough, got some kids or something here.
Yeah, there's room.
But the problem is this house looks like it's an abandoned murder shed. It's terrifying looking. Yeah, the paint's peeling off. There's shit overgrown. It looks like definitely there's a body or something bad happened there. Yeah. It's not. On Zillow, on the listing, they highlight the, quote, hardwood floors.
Oh.
But the hardwood floors are plywood.
What they mean is hard wood floor.
Yeah, hard wood floors. Very funny farmish here. Yeah. But it's plywood. It's shit. Somebody also wrote, there's a door in the house where someone wrote, "Beware of the ghost" on it.
Oh, boy.
There's shit like growing on the front of the house. This place is terrifying. It's a terrifying horror house. If you want to make like a haunted house for Halloween or something, that'd be nice.
And they want you to know, but if they miss you, they wrote it on the door.
They wrote it on the door just in case. $84,900 for this house.
Wow.
And I wouldn't put anything past them. Sure, there's probably a ghost doing all sorts of shit in there.
That's
you know
awesome.
what? You walk in, it's two ghosts doing it doggy style on the fucking couch. You're like, oh, God.
I love it.
It's a weird looking house. Here's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,160 square foot house. Really boring, really basic. The kitchen was recently redone. You could tell everything else is like 2004 style in there. It's just not anything exciting. You'd say, tell me about your new house. You'd go, it's got 4 walls and a roof. You know, pretty dull. There's nothing else to write home about here. And $199,900 though. 2,160 square feet and 4 bedrooms for under 200 grand. That's not bad. If you got some kids and you need bedrooms for them, that's going to be a good place to do it. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,734 square feet. This house is a goddamn shame because it's built in 1890.
Yeah.
Which means it's probably got some cool original shit that is completely stripped away 100%.
Oh, no.
Everything is gray and white and HGTV 4 years ago.
Brand new. Yeah.
They have gray laminate floors, those fake wood floors. They have.
Do that?
That house probably has amazing original hardwood floors, and they're like, let's put laminate over it.
Probably, yeah.
We don't want to buff anything,
Just
so
buff it.
let's do that. Oh, they're not into buffing. They're into that. So that house, $289,900. And that's a redone kind of new house. So that's only 1,700 square feet. But there isn't a lot of like big houses here. There's not a lot of like mansions in this area. This is kind of.
It's all 2,000 square feet ish.
Yeah.
3-bedroom, 2-bath.
I feel like that's why everybody gets along. Maybe in this town. Maybe everybody gets along because there's not like.
There's no haves and have-nots.
Those rich assholes in that neighborhood. They don't have that. It's just everybody has some. You know what I mean?
Everybody
no one's
has
starving. Yeah, no one's starving. No one is fucking driving around a Ferrari. Everybody kind of feels like they're in the same socioeconomic area. That could help. Things to do here. There's only one thing to do that we could find here, and it's the old-fashioned 4th of July.
Old-fashioned.
None of this newfangled 4th of July bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
The men sit and the women make us a grill.
What's more old? No matter what, the 4th of July is fireworks, which are very old-fashioned. They've been around since the 1800s. And what?
Hot dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers.
Pretty old-fashioned.
That's it. Yeah.
Sitting around.
Beers,
that's pretty. Parades again. Very old-fashioned. I don't. There's really nothing of this
What else
new
is there
school.
for 4th of July?
I don't know, but come on out to this. It's their 49th annual old-fashioned 4th of July. And there's a 5K race. Got to be in that. There's a street dance at J&H Liquors.
Yeah, I mean.
You got to get drunk before you dance. That's obviously.
I mean, that's where you smile the most, probably.
I don't know if it's in the liquor store.
Maybe.
Like in the white wine aisle or if it's in like out front of the place.
Yeah.
There's a volleyball tournament. After that also. A tractor pull.
Okay.
This is there's a lot going on here.
This is a summertime fair is what this is.
Beer gardens, bounce house, like the pioneers did on the 4th of July. They had a bounce house with a video game trailer, like the old-fashioned 4th of July. None of this new bullshit.
Trailer. Jesus.
Yeah. That's what they had back in the day. Video game trailers when they wanted to celebrate the birth of our nation.
Generator-powered TVs in 1776.
Oh, it was there. Cornhole tournament, which obviously dates
1777,
back. Dates way back to George Washington was the foremost cornholer in the entire country back in the day. We all know that. There's a chicken fry at BP Servicemen's Club.
What? At the gas station?
Chicken fry over at the gas station.
I assure you, gas station chicken is a bad idea.
We've told you exactly how bad of an idea that is.
Not a good idea.
A kid's pedal tractor pull, obviously.
Yeah.
A family youth dance with mobile DJ. Just like the old pioneers used to do on the 4th of July. Youth dance. An antique tractor show. Mm-hmm. A beer garden at City Park. No outside alcohol allowed. No, you have to buy it from them.
Several beer gardens. I love
several of those. First Lutheran Church music
beer
in
garden.
Gazebo and beer garden. First Lutheran Church music and beer garden. DJ on the lot behind J&H Liquors. I just picture... This poor bastard's in a parking lot behind a liquor store. I picture nobody there, just a guy standing in front of his turntables going, I set up for this.
The poor bastard, J or L, has people behind him making music and people in front dancing. Poor bastard can't sell anything.
That's the only way he sells any liquor, probably.
Maybe so.
They come in, get drunk. Food trucks, bounce house, kids races, pony rides, got to have those. A dunk tank, again, just like the pioneers used to do.
Yeah.
Then there's a parade, and then live entertainment gets there.
Oh, here we go.
Right after the parade, Travis Thamert.
Mammert?
Thamert. Thamert. Travis Thamert.
I don't think he's going to make
star.
It with that name.
Thamert? No, you got to change that.
Go with your middle name,
shit.
Travis. Travis John or Travis Paul. Something other
Sean,
than this.
Something.
Yeah.
It's something like that here. This will be at the State School Orphanage Museum.
Yeah.
Where all the hot gigs take place. The State School Orphanage Museum. See how bad the orphans used to live.
Here's a picture of an actual bastard.
They have this is the fucked up part too. They have tours of historic areas and shit like that. They basically play old-timey orphanage for the day. They have kids, look at this.
What?
Thank you, Sam. I have another.
Oh,
they have
children dress up in time period
an old-timey orphan time period.
To be
orphans.
Unwanted.
And they have like scripts in their hands to say like their tragic life, and my mother died of cholera and my father died in an explosion at the molasses factory.
And my dad didn't have memories to feed me.
He couldn't feed me. So that's how that goes. There's a screening of a 1930 film, and also a genealogy research assistant will be there to help you see if you're
a bastard
from
too.
the orphanage. Yeah. See if you ever started out there. Crime rate in this town, what we are interested in here, is very low. Property crime is about 1/4 of the national average.
Great.
So very low. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault. The Mount Rushmore of all crime is about 1/3 of the national average.
Wow.
So this place is pretty safe, I got to say.
Wow. Everybody just doing well and being nice to each other.
Nobody's angry that someone else is much richer than them. I think that's what it is. So
Minnesota nice as fuck.
Let's talk about some murder here.
Okay.
Whoa, my goodness, do we have some crazy shit to get into. All right. Have to give credit to the Atavist, Atavist magazine, atavist.com, an article by John Rosengren. Really good article, really comprehensive, put everything together and got a lot of information out of it that was available other places, and they kind of really made it a easier place to find some of the the core of the story. So good job.
Centrally located.
Got to give credit where credit's due here. Let's talk about some people, shall we?
All right. Dave
Reese here. R-I-E-S-S. There's some places it's spelled R-E-I, but it's R-I-E is what I've seen in all the legal things here. Yeah, Dave Reese. He's born in Rochester, Minnesota, which is just off to the east of where we are here in Blooming Prairie. He's born on April 24th, 1963, and kind of grew up in Rochester. He went to Mayo High School, which I believe is all that Mayo shit is the Mayo Clinic and all that kind of shit.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, yeah. That was you dug deep for that one, Jim.
Yeah. But is that real?
Yeah, the Mayo Clinic is from Minnesota.
Oh, I didn't know that was a person.
I don't know either. Did they name it Mayo? I don't know if they're just really excited about mayonnaise up there or not.
Big Fleischmann.
Just name everything after fucking Best Foods. After Governor Hellman, if you remember from back in the day.
Yeah.
So he is in the class of 1981 at Mayo High School, known as a real prankster, old Dave.
Was he?
Real cut up there. Yes, kind of a fun-loving kind of a guy here. So he enlists in the Navy when he graduates.
Okay.
Which 81, not a bad time to enlist in the Navy. Vietnam's over. We're not real into any big wars at this point.
Yeah, that is a good one. 81 to 85. That's a solid.
That's not bad.
Years.
That's not bad.
No problem.
I think Grenada might have been in there or something, but other than that, you're good.
Yeah.
You're pretty good here. So he's stationed in San Diego also. So not too shabby there.
Fuck out. Jesus.
Good decision there.
Yeah.
He's doing that. He puts the parka away and goes down to San Diego to look at some bikinis. So there's a friend of his named Denny. So we got Dave and Denny here. And Denny describes meeting Dave. And he said that, they became friends because I guess Dave was a friend of a friend, and somebody offered him the very attractive offer of, hey, would you like to go over to this guy's house who you don't know and lay some carpet for him as a favor today? And Dave said, sure.
What?
A more unattractive offer, I don't think, could be put on the table.
He's got one of those claws with the padded thing you throw your knee into?
I guess so. Would you? I don't even know if he has that or if it's just like a carpet laying party.
Do you call that a carpet stretcher or some shit like that?
Yeah, those things that you put on your knees and pull them out, I guess. I don't fucking know. I've seen people lay carpets without that shit, though. They just put them down.
Really?
Fuck yeah, they're lazy.
Oh, you just
shit
leave
people.
it wrinkly?
We don't know what the hell kind of fucking...
Yeah,
I don't know how this guy's living his life. This we don't even. It's not Dave or Denny. It's Dave and Denny's friend. So anyway, Dave agreed to come over and do this. So you know he's a nice guy right away.
No shit.
Because I'd laugh right in your face if you said you want to go to a stranger's house to lay carpet. No, thank you.
Come over with me to my neighbor's house and.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a job. Is what that sounds like. Going to a stranger's house to do work sounds like a job to me.
Doesn't that come with the carpet? Why are you buying it sans insulation?
Because it's cheap. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Cheap. And this is when he's young too. So I don't know if this is some 24-year-old guy putting his carpet down and doesn't have enough money or whatever the deal is.
Because he soiled it and he wants to hang on to his security deposit.
That's possible. Yeah. So anyway, Dave and Denny got talking about fishing, which they're both real into fishing, and they become very good friends. And if you judge all of Minnesota off grumpy old men, as I do, everybody does nothing but try to get walleye all the time and muskie. That's all. It's all the whole point of your life.
Yeah.
Sure, you guys work and you go to school and you do things, but it's really just to get to fishing time, isn't it?
I'll bet there's some bluegill around there too. But
well, that and chasing around hot old ladies, I believe, is what you guys do over there.
8 hours of work and then fill the rest of the time chasing skirt and fishing.
Chasing old skirt and fishing. That's what you're doing. Quite the lifestyle they have up there. So Dave and Denny ended up renting a trailer home right on the Mississippi River. And they used that as not to live in, but as a base camp for their fishing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they literally rented a fishing trailer. That's how much they like to fish.
That's incredible.
That's quite the life they're putting together here. They entered competitions, too, fishing competitions, and actually won some money and were on ESPN at one point in one of their fishing tournaments in the 80s.
That's great.
Which is pretty cool. ESPN in the 80s, on a weekend from about 7 a.m. to noon, it was nothing but fishing. There was the guy with that blonde bowl cut there. The hell was his name? It was Jimmy something. I can't remember. It was Jimmy something. Jimmy. But he go, that's a nice fish right there. Nice fish. And my dad would say that shit all the time. That's a nice fish. Every time he'd see any kind of fish as a joke. He'd go, that's a nice fish right there. Every single time.
Is it Jimmy Houston?
Jimmy Houston. There you go. Jimmy Houston with his fucking bowl cut. His big stupid sunglasses.
Yeah, and that's a nice fish.
That's a nice fish. Every time. That's a nice fish. No matter what. The fish could have had one fucking eye and an arrow sticking in it. He would have said, that's a nice fish right there. Loved
Somebody
fish.
speared this one years ago.
Oh, that's a
damn nice fish.
That's a tough and a nice fish, I'll tell you what. So they're doing good. Denny said there was a lot of laughter in that boat. Being out there, it didn't take a whole lot to get him laughing. He was just a happy guy.
Okay.
Dave's just a big happy guy. That's what he's known as here. Now, during this time when he's, laying carpet and fucking pulling fish out of lakes and rivers and shit.
And it's not even a euphemism. He's really doing it.
He's really doing it. That's what I mean. This is not, hey, my man's laying carpet. He meets a young lady that he's quite smitten with. He meets a young lady named Lois Witte, Witte, Lois. Lois has some older sisters named Kim and Cindy, and they'll come in. They'll come into the story later on too. So you need to know that. They get married on September 17th, 1982.
Oh.
He's 19, she's 20. So,
got some older gal chasing that old skirt.
The old skirt right there. See, Minnesota, this is what happens. What does he do? Fish and chase older women. Just what I said, man. I'm telling you, we nailed it.
Yeah,
nailed it. So, he and Lois here. I guess he's got quite the life. He's 19 years old. He's got a fishing trailer. He's laying carpet. He's got a wife already. Man,
so much money.
Is moving fast here. Yeah. Lois is also from Rochester here. 5 kids in her family. She's got, like we said, she's got 2 older sisters. She's the 4th of 5 children. So kind of a lower child, I guess you'd call that.
I suppose.
Yeah, her father was an engineer at IBM. Her mother is a bit of a mess. She's got there's some stuff floating around in her family, obviously, and we'll find out later on. Her mother's a hoarder. Really bad.
Oh, boy.
Really, really, really bad. Like, the house is destroyed.
Really?
Lois never had a friend over the house because she was so embarrassed.
Unlivable.
Like, none of the kids could bring people over the house or anything like that. And they never had company. They never had anything because her mother was a hoarder. The whole house was taken over.
I'd never heard of it until the show. I mean, obviously it had to have been a thing 100 years ago, but
I've heard of like people that, and I remember hearing about the Collier brothers.
Yeah.
And I knew there was people like that, where it was like, there's these people and they just keep a bunch of shit and then there's dead cats everywhere. And like, and then the TV show is like, those people. And
they are.
There's so many of them, though. There's so many.
New one every week.
It's so fucking sad. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's so sad. And we don't know there's always, and on hoarders, they'll always find the trigger, like, oh, she was fine. And then, her son was hit by a Mack truck, and they're like, okay, well, then she started collecting things, and then it got weird. There's always some trigger to it.
Yeah. She started collecting mementos that reminded her grandmother that spontaneously combusted.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So we don't know what her mother's trigger is or what happened or what tragedy happened, but whatever happened, it wasn't while Lois was around. So she never found out what the hell caused her mother's problems. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
But Lois ended up leaving high school after the 11th grade. She dropped out.
It's a weird time to quit, but all right.
Strange thing, after the 11th grade. So I guess she figured it's not working out, or I don't know. Yeah. If you have a home life like that, who knows what was going on in her brain here. Yeah. So following the wedding in 82, she and Dave have 3 kids in 4 years.
That's fast.
Wow. They are pumping fucking kids. They talk about, so he is 23 and she's 24, and they got 3 kids, a fishing trailer, a fucking marriage, all this. That's a lot of responsibility at that age.
And you don't have a kid every time you fuck. These people are just constantly fucking.
I think they have a kid every time they fuck. These two are Man, the cold gets those sperms swimming. You know what I mean? That's how it works.
That's fascinating. They're supposed to swim slower. Not here.
No. When guys have like problems with that, they put a fucking they get like a cooling underwear.
Really?
Yes, because it makes your sperm work better.
Really?
Yeah, the heat makes them lethargic.
Like salmon.
Yeah, so that's why like they'll tell you like wear boxer shorts, don't wear like anything that keeps your balls tight to your body because that'll keep the heat in and keep your sperm dying.
Really?
Yeah, so I think this guy's cold environment and loose pants is the best explanation I can have for 3 kids in 4 years. Yeah, I heard it was a sitcom where somebody was trying to get somebody pregnant, and that was one of the things they tried. I don't remember what it was.
Sit on peas all the time.
I remember there was a motor in his underwear is all I can remember out of the thing, and that was a joke because they kept hearing the motor. It's like, no, nothing's going on. Can't remember what it was. So that's a lot of kids. They had a boy, a girl, and then a boy again.
Damn it.
Bang, bang, bang. Now, her youngest boy said she was caring about Lois. She was caring, always put herself second and us kids first.
Sure. So you got to do it.
Not bad. Yeah. So Dave finishes his stint in the Navy. Because remember, he's in the Navy this whole fucking time. He was in Guam after a while, so he was stationed well far away from his family here. And once he gets done with that, the whole family moves back to Rochester. So I think they ended up having those kids in San Diego and all that stuff. So Dave gets a job at Crenlo, which is a manufacturer of metal equipment. That sounds fun.
It sounds like a place that does that.
It really does. He drove a forklift.
Awesome.
So that's fun. That's cool.
That's cool, yeah.
He eventually opened a small bait shop called the Bait Box.
There you go.
He has a real love of fishing and what bait goes for what. Like he's a real, like an expert angler. I mean, that's, guys that really, really know what they're doing with that. They know like, oh, well, it's fucking July and you're over here, so you need this exact worm. They don't like those. They like these.
And you don't go fishing after 10 a.m.
Oh, Jesus. What are you fucking, until sunset.
An alcoholic?
Until sunset. Then you get back out there once, they're getting the flies off the top of the water at that point. So
at 10 a.m., you're just going to drink, buddy.
Yeah, you're just dicking off at 10 a.m. here. So, yeah, they do that. The Bait Box he opens where he sells live bait and fishing tackle.
Great.
That's what he's doing. Lois ran a daycare center out of their home, which they had an above-ground swimming pool in the backyard, and, the kids, I guess, would swim in there and all that kind of shit. So that's what they're doing, which I guess if you have 3 kids that are that close and that in age and that young,
it's a great idea.
It's all you can do is
start
do
a fucking daycare.
That's
Let
tough
other people
otherwise.
Drop their kids, too.
It's already a daycare.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm
just
sorry.
Strangers
Might
kids
as well
too.
throw them in the fucking mix. Who cares? So in 2005, they moved to Blooming Prairie.
Sure.
And they move here for a specific reason. So Dave could pursue his dream.
Of?
His dream. And his dream is much like our dreams, Jimmy. We've had many long conversations where we've drove from like city to city to do shows.
Yeah.
Your dreams, your ambitions, and things like your desires, your deepest inner desires come out. And we all, including Dave, have a dream of opening a waxworm farm. That's been I know that's our dream.
Hold on.
Yes. Waxworm farm. Breeding waxworms.
Oh, these are real worms.
Worms, they're just a type of worm, a specific type of worm that's very good for fishing.
Those are the ones that the fish really like.
That's what they like. That's how specific he is about it. So he moves here to his dream is to open a waxworm farm. That's awesome.
Yeah. What year is this?
This is 2005.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
call it. I got worms.
I got worms. I got
dumb and dumber joke, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally. So it's maybe amazing. There's that, or maybe I don't know. You could sell them on the internet at that point.
Yeah,
you could sell internet worms.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Do it. So their home is out in the country, a mile. It's a 218 on 218 is the road, and they say you pass 6 massive grain bins that sit on the edge of town, and then go another mile. And you'll find their house.
Small town directions.
And their waxwork farm.
Yeah.
6 of them. Make sure you count
6. Yeah. You pass 5, buddy, you gone too far.
But that you get to the edge of town, which you're supposed to know what that is.
Yeah. What road is it?
And then there's 6 of those. Now, there's a couple in town, so you want to make sure those 6 pass the edge of town. And then you're, okay, more funny farm thing.
Yeah.
Make a left where the old Johnson barn used to be. Okay. So Dave is known throughout the land as a swell fella, let's just say.
Yeah.
Known as a good guy. Everybody in Blooming Prairie tells you Dave is just a cat's meow.
Waxworming some bitch.
You need waxworms. You need this. They said he's quick with a tip on a fishing spot.
Oh.
Good with that stuff. He has this isn't, by the way, just a waxworm business where he does everything himself. He has employees. This is an operation. Really? Absolutely. They said that all his employees say he's very generous. He's not cheap. He's not stingy. He likes to tell stories, be silly, and make up funny songs and laugh his ass off. He's just a big, goofy guy.
Love him.
And he's happy. He's fucking... Yeah. He's making worms. I mean, that's his, so he can fish with them. That's his ambition. He's happy.
Yeah, he's making worms fuck, for Christ's sake.
It's great. He's got kind of a big husky Minnesota frame on him. You keep those cold winters out. So everybody said, though, you couldn't be around Dave for a long time without laughing, because he was just a laugher, and his laugh would make you laugh because he's just a happy guy. And Lois is also considered a mighty fine lady around town, a cool lady, a nice lady. They said around town the consensus was, this is from that article, Lois was nice. She kept a clean house. She could be thought. Don't say whether she's gregarious. Funny. Yeah. I'll tell you what about her. She keeps a clean house, that one.
She knows how to operate a mop, I'll tell you.
That is something else, boy. Her vacuum gets a lot of use. She could be thoughtful, giving some friends who liked horses a set of tumblers frosted with equine figures. So... she's just a nice lady. There's a couple named Tess and Rod Koster, Koster. They invited Lois and Dave to their lake house along with another couple. Oh, yeah. And they had a good time. They said Lois had brought steaks with her for dinner, and they got up the next morning and she's making breakfast for everybody.
Huh.
So good people
is
what they're getting at here. Now, February 16th, 2006, they have some seriously bad luck. This family here. A fire destroys their home.
No.
Their whole house burns to the fucking ground. They lost everything, including their cats. Everything. Oh. So it sucks. No one was hurt in the fire. Everybody gets out except for the cats. And the worms are in another building, though, by the way.
Okay.
So the worms are alive. Those wax worms, they'll melt to nothing, obviously.
And they turn right back into a worm.
And then, but in a clump, it's really tough. Rock hard. So
those gummy worms.
Yeah. The cause of this, they decide, may have been, it wasn't arson or anything like that. No. They thought it might have been some faulty wiring, and Dave did the wiring. So Dave feels terrible about this. He feels like he fucking... his family is homeless because he's an idiot and he didn't do something right. So he feels really fucking bad. And so everyone in town felt bad for them as well. Oh. So they all took up a collection for him, for the family.
Wow.
It's really nice. A neighbor here, or this is the executive director of the Blooming Prairie Chamber of Commerce, said that's something our community does for people, whether they know them or not. Apparently very nice people here. Support Minnesota nice. That's it right there. So they rebuilt their house and moved back in here. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and Lois.
Same lot, huh?
Same lot. Well, yeah, they just rebuilt the same house because they have the worm farm up front there too. Okay. Lois set up a daycare center facility there as well. So now she did that. All the parents said she was great. They dropped the kids off. A lot of times she'd have hot sandwich, like an egg sandwich for them there. To the parents, not even for the kids.
In the morning on their way to work?
You drop your kid off. She's like, want a bacon, egg, and cheese on a hard roll? He's like, yeah, I guess so. Fuck yeah. Why not?
You go on your merry way. To leave your kid. I just made you $20 worth of sandwich. She's doing this for free.
Do you add an extra $20 at the end of the week for sandwiches or what? Because that's fucking awesome, though.
Truly, yeah.
How great is that? I don't even care how you treat the kids. I get fucking sandwiches.
Beat them if you want.
I don't give a shit.
Was legit.
Don't let them get in the way of making those sandwiches. Let's just say that. Whatever you have to do, keep them away from you. I want sandwiches. Yeah. So obviously that'll get you some repeat customers, I would say. Once her children, now they move out. They have kids of their own. They become grandparents.
Wow.
They're going to have 5 grandkids here.
Oh, boy.
And they said Lois just spoils those grandkids like
Doting
crazy.
on 'em.
And, that's what happens. Grandparents are like that. Lois would buy them cell phones, ATVs. They could ride around the property. Just, yeah.
That's more than spoiling, James.
That's fun. That's a fun fucking grandma. That's
the greatest.
When they come over, they have ATVs to ride around and shit.
Yeah.
She's trying to make it so the grandkids want to come over and hang out at the house and she can see them. That's awesome.
That's not giving them an ice cream when mom says no. She bought them ATVs.
She bought him a fucking ice cream truck at that point. So she would do all of this. She joined a women's bowling league at Bunky's, which is a 4-lane bowling alley on Main Street. That is a very small bowling alley. It's a lot of
lanes.
Sounds like a lot of weight on that one here. That's rough. Jesus Christ. She would travel to tournaments around the state with a group of about 36 women. Bowling tournaments.
6 gals.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. That's it. The Chamber of Commerce lady said she was fun-loving. She had the cutest smile, meaning Lois did. Yeah. So she's a good cook. Everybody knows that. A couple times a week, she would bring lunch over to the 5 guys who worked at the worm farm. She'd just come out, got lunch for you guys. She would bring out like big hunks of lasagna and shit like that. Here you go. Fuck yeah, that sounds great.
She knows the path to friendship leads from the belly, man.
If you give me food, I am going to have a very hard time not liking you.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Especially if it's good food.
If you lead with food, especially. Yeah. That's the thing. If you lead with food, we're going to be friends probably. That's, even if I don't like you, I will eat your food.
I mean,
I do like food.
I don't know many people that have been in my life that brought me food that I was like, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck him and his food. Look at this asshole and his lasagna. Thanks a lot.
All right with me.
I don't know how much I want Minnesota lasagna, but I'm sure it's the effort that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's probably American Beauty noodles, right?
Probably, yeah. I don't think she's getting to Checo here, but that's fine. So. It's the effort that counts.
Yeah, she did it. Yeah,
it's the effort. So she stopped running the daycare around 2014, and she would help out with the farm kind of here and there, the worm farm, and do all that. But the worm farm became a lucrative business. Wow. They're selling mad worms here. The staff made weekly deliveries to Walmart, Quick Trip, bait shops throughout the area. They're selling them to fucking Walmart. I mean, I
don't know what's the gestation period of worms that you can
I have
move
no
that
idea.
Many. You can't.
They don't die
billions,
fast,
right?
They don't die fast. They last a long time. Worms. They last weeks and weeks and weeks.
How fast do they make new worms?
I don't know. Good question. I mean, quick enough to make a business out of it.
You got to have billions of worms, right?
That's why it's a whole farm. I think a whole worm operation. You can't just have one bucket there with going. Well, they're working on it.
You know when you buy bait, it's like a scoop of dirt and it's just got worms in it. How do they know how many are in there?
I think they pick the worms out and just put them in the dirt.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they scoop
the dirt.
Bury
themselves.
Yeah, then they bury themselves in the dirt.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
It's not. There's usually about a dozen per scoop. So
there's a guy with an ice cream scooper who's like, I don't know, it's got dirt and worms in there somewhere.
Meanwhile, every time it's always 12. You're like, man, they're good.
They're good.
So, in addition to the local places, they also delivered bait throughout Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa.
Okay.
So they were really doing that. They also shipped boxes of wax worms. Apparently, wax worms are an excellent bait for panfish. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere there's panfish, that's where wax worms are. So they're sending them out all over the place. And winter was their biggest and busiest time, actually, because there's a really high demand for these type of worms for ice fishing, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So Dave's friend said of the farm, quote, that place was a money-making machine.
How about it?
If you said, can you make a great living off worms? I'd say, of course not.
I mean, you'd probably be all right.
Yeah. But you picture like the worm guy, and it's probably some like hunched over guy who goes out with a bucket in the morning and a little shovel and picks them out. No, this is an operation. This is a whole deal. I didn't realize that. So, yeah, he treats his employees well. I guess these are young guys he hires, guys in their early 20s and that kind of thing, and they all look up to him and they think he's a nice guy. He would give them A little extra money here and there. Like, hey, here's $20, go put gas in your truck or something like that. Nice guy. Take them fishing just to be, camaraderie.
Gotta check if these things work.
Do it. His friend Denny said he was kind to people he didn't even know.
Okay.
That's nice. Now, their lifestyle, Lois and Dave, they have a fun little lifestyle.
Yeah?
They do. Remember the BP Servicemen's Club?
I remember.
I don't think it's a gas station. I think it's something else because Lois and Dave often ate dinner at the Servicemen's Club. I think it's like a naval thing. I think it's for
probably,
ex-Navy people. He volunteered on the board there and looked after the books as well.
Okay, he's counting money.
He's doing that. He actually discovered someone was embezzling funds and
son of a bitch
stopped them from doing it and turned them in and all this shit. So Dave's a very upstanding guy. That's the thing here. He also campaigned for the club to start selling pull tabs to raise money, which are like lottery tickets, basically.
Yep, they sure are. They're little tabs. You pull them and match of 3, you win.
That's it. He pushed it through. He's a good bowler. He likes pool better than bowling, though.
All right.
He likes to shoot pool at the pizza cellar.
Oh.
Or
pool table.
The back. This J&H Liquors is an enigma. Or the back room of J&H Liquors.
They've got one there.
This is a liquor store with a pool table in the back room, a DJ in the parking lot, and street dancing out front. This place is fucking crazy.
It's hopping. Yeah.
The craziest liquor store in town, man.
Is this a liquor store you can actually drink what you buy?
Yes.
That's a bar, isn't it?
I guess J&H Liquors, but they call it a fucking liquor store. It's weird. So he'd go there, have a few beers. He drank Miller Lite.
Okay.
And he'd hang out around the pool table and, bullshit with the other pudgy fishermen, I would assume.
Sure, yeah.
They'd end up back at the worm farm a lot of times, and they'd hang out in his office. Dave had a good stereo in there. They'd be drinking Miller Lights, talking about fish and worms.
Oh, boy. And that shot he just hit on the pool table.
We are absolutely right to basically say whatever lifestyle Dumb and Dumber, fucking grumpy old men had, that's pretty much how people live. Even if they're not 75, apparently. Because he's in his 50s at this point. He's doing this. On Sundays, the group would gather in some other guy's house, which was basically a shed behind his house that he turned into a TV room. Okay. Turned into a little cave there. And they'd watch the Vikings game, of course, on the big screen TV. Yeah. And Lois, usually, she'd send along a cake or deviled eggs or something that she'd make. This is so folksy. This is so Midwestern.
No kidding. What a great life it is, too. Yeah. It's so wholesome and fun.
It is. And that lady from the Chamber of Commerce said, Lois seemed like a real regular gal. She said she was funny. She was cute. They said, quote, she was a little round, blonde hair, kind of piercing eyes. They were both fun. Dave was really nice and witty. Lois was just bubbly.
Okay.
So that's who we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a couple who everybody seems to like, and that's how you want to be described, by the way. Sure. A little round.
A little round. That's
a little round.
Feels very common.
So they said there's never any problems there. Cops are never called to the waxworm farm or anything like that. They said no domestic violence or no giant blow-ups of holy shit, these two are going to kill each other out here. Nothing like that. She'd go out fucking bowling, and he'd do his servicemen's club stuff, and they would hang out, and they'd go boating or fishing or hung out with Tess and Rod Coster or whatever. That was their day. So 2018 comes around here. Now, Thursday, March 8th, 2018, let's talk about. Dave's friends saw him at the old J&H Liquors, obviously, shooting some pool, having some Miller Lights on Thursday evening, March 8th. And they bullshitted and shot some pool. And, we're talking about, are the Vikings going to suck next season? That's what they were talking about. And they were saying that Dave and Lois were going to go to Wisconsin to see their grandson play in a basketball tournament. That's what the plans were. So totally nothing crazy going on here. So that's Thursday, March 8th. Now, Monday, March 12th, after this weekend, Lois stops by the Worm Farm's office. And they said instead of usually, like, she would greet the workers real warmly and how'd everything go? You have a nice weekend. Did your kid have that thing that you were talking about? All that kind of shit.
That was the tournament.
They said instead she came in and kept her head down. And all she said is, Dave's not feeling good. I've got to take care of him. And then they didn't see Dave or her Tuesday or Wednesday of that week.
Okay.
So, and they know how to run the worm farm. I guess it can run whether Dave's there or not. So then on Thursday, she came back down to the office, and they're like, hey, how's Dave? You know, Jesus, he's 3 days. We haven't seen Dave. He hasn't even walked out to the worm farm. This is crazy. He's going to have worm withdrawals here. So she said, no, he's still sick. She goes, we have an appointment. I'm taking him to the doctor tomorrow because he just can't kick this thing. Yeah. So they were like, that's weird. The employees thought it was really weird that he was doing this, but they also knew that Dave had a long history of stomach troubles, different problems. So they thought maybe something coming to Miller Lite will do that to you after a while. Yeah. Miller Lite and Minnesota lasagna will get you. That'll get you. But they didn't want to bother him because they thought maybe he's really sick, but they just kind of left him alone. They said that Lois would sit at the desk in the office, at his desk, and kind of just stare out the window and all that. They said at one point she put her head in her hands and elbows on her knees, you know, like you do in here, like I do at the end of every day. Oh God, why? How did I get here, and how do I get away from it?
I've got so much to do and no time to do it in.
Oh God! One of the employees said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, fine. I didn't sleep good last night." So yeah, that's kind of how that goes, and this goes into the next week.
Really?
The next week, Lois tells the guys that he's still sick, but the doctor cleared him to compete in the season opener of the Cabela's Masters Walleye Circuit, a fishing competition. Yeah. That is a big dude. The Cabela's Walleye. Oh boy, that's a.
If Cabela's is involved, you better bring your A game. Yeah,
it's a big fucking day here, man. God, Jesus, that's so funny that Minnesota really is a grumpy old men. Just that's exactly what's going on there. Yeah. So that meant he's supposed to leave that Tuesday morning. That would be March 20th, I believe, and pick up Denny Clark, and they're going to drive 5 hours down to the Illinois River to compete in this fishing competition.
Get after it, Jesus.
So that's what all the employees said. Oh, they figured that's what's going on here. Oh, Dave, now he's going to his fishing tournament. Until the employees saw Lois drive off in the Cadillac Escalade. Now, that is what Dave would take on fishing trips, would be this Escalade.
Yeah.
And this was 2 days after Dave was supposed to be away at the fishing tournament. So they're like, he didn't take his truck? That's weird. But they see Lois pulling away, and that's that. So interesting. Now, Thursday, March 22nd comes around. It's been almost 2 weeks since anybody's talked to Dave.
Yeah.
At all. None of his employees have talked to him, which is odd. He has a business partner that hasn't seen or talked to him in almost 2 weeks as well.
Okay.
They're all kind of getting together and going, when did you talk to Dave last? I haven't talked to him in a while. Oh, it's been since then. Oh, shit, me too. So they all kind of get their stories together. They said they call him. He doesn't pick up. He doesn't return calls. They said they did receive responses to text messages, but they thought their responses were really weird because Dave doesn't type his text. I guarantee you he has fat fingers. I'm not saying it in a bad way. He's got like old man thumbs probably. Not a big texter. So they said he dictates all his messages.
Oh, voice to text, yeah.
Which means all the words, some of the words run together and there's no punctuation also. Yeah. That's what happens. So they said these replies use like proper punctuation and somebody typed them.
Like they wrote a letter.
Like they were writing a letter. Yeah. Comma this. And they're like, that's not Dave. So they were like, that's weird. Right? But maybe because he's just sick and has time to do it. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? He was supposed to have left for a fishing tournament on March 20th, and he was, would have taken the Escalade, which is what he used to pull his 20-foot boat.
Hell yeah.
But, like I said, they saw instead Lois pulls out the Escalade, and then they don't see Lois either.
Huh.
So they don't know what to do. They're like, Lois is gone. He's gone. What the fuck do we do now? Like, what do we do?
We need a boss.
Yeah, so that day that she takes off and they don't see her anymore, they're worried about everybody, and so they call the police to do like a check on everybody. Can you make sure Lois is okay and make sure Dave is like fishing and all that shit? This is the employees that call the police.
Fascinating.
So Friday, March 23rd, 2008, the police department they dispatch 2 officers to do a little looky-loo here on Dave and see if he's all right. So they drive up. The house was dark. They said, okay. They said that the waxworm farm is about 50 paces from the front door.
Okay.
So, I mean, if he can't go 50 paces out there, he must be really sick.
Real sick. Yeah.
That's really sick. So they visit at night to do this, the cops. It's dark and cold. There's snow on the ground. They said no one answered the door.
We got to go do a creep thing. Let's go do it at the creepiest time ever.
Creepiest time. Yeah, so just in case anyone is there, they'll see us like looking in the window, fogging it up with our breath. That won't be weird or anything.
Let's do this weird and creepy like.
It's not fucking come broad daylight in the fucking first thing in the morning or anything.
Yeah.
So the officers in the pitch dark in the snow and everything else, they're walking around the house and they noticed a light coming from a window. Uh-huh. And they went and the bathroom window was open.
Oh.
Which is not normal, I would say, for, when it's cold out and there's snow on the ground to have your bathroom window open. That's
unless you're super sick and you got to get some of that smell out, man.
Something. Either that, someone is shitting that thing up.
Yeah.
If you want to sit in a 30-degree bathroom, you are really shitting it up good. So the bathroom is above the height you can see from standing. Okay. So they boost each other. One of the cops boosts the other cop up, which is really hilarious.
Yeah.
To watch armed adults boosting each other.
Give me a boost.
Not fucking 9-year-olds trying to go over a fence.
Put your hands together and I'll step in them and then you push me up.
Come on, you can do it. It's either that or he got on his shoulders like a fucking chicken fight, which would have even been funnier.
Bend over. I'll stand on your back.
Come on, do it. So one of them looks in, and he sees a blanket on the floor of the bathroom with something under it.
Oh.
Something that appears to be in the shape of a human.
Oh, it's a big bump.
It's a big bump and a big blanket. Boy. So they get 2 more deputies out here who went inside the house. They actually go inside the house, and they find Dave on the bathroom floor under this blanket. Very dead. His stomach is really fucked up. When you have a blanket covering your whole body just lying on the bathroom floor with the window open, you know your stomach's fucked up.
You're sick.
So, he is on the ground, on the floor. He'd been shot twice with a .22 handgun.
Wow.
Once in the chest and once in the back. And none of the employees have heard gunshots. None of the neighbors. There's not a lot of close neighbors, but no one's heard any gunshots or anything like that here. A bullet had pierced clean through his forearm, so it's probably a defensive wound, and then went into his chest. So it looks like he was holding it up trying to block it. And they said he has been dead for a long time.
Oh, no.
They're thinking around 10 days at this point, maybe longer.
He was never sick.
That man was never sick. Either that or he was really sick.
Yeah.
So they said his body had it's decomposing and bloating, and I mean, it's even with the window open, it's still, it's not that cold in there. So they're looking around trying to find Lois. They're saying, oh my God, maybe she's going to be in another room. We're going to find her fucking dead, covered up somewhere too. So they're looking for her, and they don't know where she is. They can't find her. The Cadillac's gone. She's gone. Everybody's gone.
In the house.
One of Dave's friends, Jerry, said he was my best buddy. Every day I go by their house and I wonder what the hell happened up there. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts, and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, well, still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Experience furniture shopping the way it's meant to be at Mathis Home, your ultimate furniture superstore. From sofas to dining sets, from modern to classic styles, they have everything you're searching for. With over 230,000 items to choose from, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for at a price you'll love. Plus, everything is in stock and ready for fast, free delivery right to your door. So you don't have to wait. And if you're looking to really transform your space, take advantage of our complimentary interior design services. Our expert designers are ready to help with any project, whether big or small. And right now, check out the Lazy Boy BOGO event at Mathis Home, happening now through March 1st, 2025. Buy one Lazy Boy recliner and get another one absolutely free. Don't miss this limited time offer. Only at Mathis Home, your ultimate furniture superstore.
Yeah, I would say so. So they had to find Lois to find out what happened. So basically all they know about Lois is they find out from her friends that she is known to frequent casinos.
Oh.
So they said, we're looking for this lady. She might be in trouble. She might be kidnapped. She might be, in peril, or she might be a criminal. Either way, she's a person of interest that we'd like to talk to. So if you're in a casino and you see this lady, give us a shout. So
they for a cute, smiled, round lady in the casino.
That's looking for her. It warned that she might be armed as well, because we do know she owns a gun. Her father had given her as a collector's item his Colt Woodsman 22. So we know she has a 22 handgun as well. So, then now the officer assigned to this had discovered here, he looks into this whole thing, where's Lois? Because, first thing you look for if you're looking for someone is their banking activity.
That's a good idea.
Phone and banking activity in 2018. That's what you're looking for. You should be able to track anybody through that.
Both of those ought to do it. Yeah.
Nobody keeps enough cash to not have to use a card, and nobody fucking doesn't use their phone. So they found out that in the previous week, Lois had deposited 2 business checks that were missing from the worm farm. One for $8,684.80. It's a lot of worms. And the other for $1,209.60 into her husband's personal checking account at Citizen State Bank in Glenville, which is a half-hour drive away. So she did that. She had then cashed 3 checks drawn on his account for $2,500, $7,500, and $1,000. $11,000 on March 23rd. The last of those came out. Yeah. So judging by that, basically, because she did that through the business and she's not on the business, this is not her business, right. They put out a warrant to arrest her for felony theft.
Fraud, yeah.
Fraud. So they can at least, now they can find her and bring her in because now there's a warrant. It's not just a bolo. So
sure.
That's different. A warrant, people are really looking for it. So, and it's in the computer. You'll punch it up and it'll be there. So and also a U.S. Marshal assisting with the investigation said all signs, meaning of the murder, pointed immediately to her, obviously.
Okay.
So, but they didn't understand why this would happen.
Yeah,
like this
over
is
$11,000.
This doesn't make much sense at all. So they're really trying to figure this out because they're like, it just doesn't add up exactly. Much like his checking account, this is not adding up. So they said that's what everyone in town was talking about. It's all anybody was talking about was. They said the forensics class in Blooming Prairie High School discussed the case for several weeks. Which, I mean, if you're a forensics class, that makes sense.
Not bad. If that's
I wish we had a
high
forensics.
school's doing that.
I wish we had a forensics class in high school. I never had that. That would have been fucking awesome.
And taking real cases and being like, solve this shit, 11th grader.
Or just looking over them. That's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
I would have loved that shit, man. They would have given me a path.
Yeah, at least giving me an idea of something to do.
Yeah. Hey, I'm interested in murder, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I just learned I like this.
They look around. They said, okay, there's got to be an affair happening here. Either she's having an affair and running away to it, or he was having an affair and she's had enough.
She's had it, yeah.
Nobody's having any affairs. They look into it.
Wow. $11,000 is not forever money. What the fuck is going on?
I mean, neither of them are having any affairs. There's never been any domestic abuse. There's never been any strife, trouble.
There's no reason
as far as that. This makes no sense of why she would do this. They said that it's just weird. So one, they think that this might be because she's a gambling addict. That's all they could think, but because that's all they could really find is she is a big gambler. Outside of that, there's really nothing to her. There's no vices. There's nothing secret. Yeah. One of the cops said, this was a new one for me. It was hard for me to wrap my head around someone committing a murder just to feed a gambling addiction. So he's like, I didn't know if I was buying that because it's just, that seems odd. Very weird. And one of the other U.S. Marshals says she's not the common murderer. She doesn't portray that image. People just don't think of a grandmother being a cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah, and
you
the
hope not,
is
anyway.
Just so small.
It's very small to for anything like that.
For murder?
The other thing is she doesn't. This is the odd part is usually gamblers. There's gambler profiles basically. There's only a few different types of gamblers.
Oh.
Your brain, much like a drug or a food or something like that, your brain reacts a certain way, and there's only a few different kind of ways your brain really reacts to gambling. And the people who get addicted to it and get really into it, it affects them in one of a few ways, basically. They said there are basically two categories, and there are little bits, little things off of this, little estuaries probably that lead to other things. But the two basic categories that encompass 98% of the gamblers are thrill seekers.
Yeah.
That's usually men that play skill-based games with high stakes. Think about Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em, or the guys doing high-level fantasy shit, too.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because gambling, most of the time it doesn't involve sports because they're usually not good at it. But most of your gamblers, it's other people playing sports, not them.
Right.
So, but like a gambler like that, it's a thrill seeker. That's what Jordan is, exactly. Yeah. But this is like, skill-based games with high stakes. They want to win big. And also escape artists are the other type of person. These are people trying to escape life.
Oh,
gambling
helps them escape the boring monotony?
It gets them out of everything. They say these are often people who play slot machines, but they don't even play them to hit a jackpot, they said. That's not what they're there for. It's to enter a trance state that makes them disconnect from the world.
Just pull the knob. Just pull the
knob. Pull, and you just concentrate. Cherry 7 fucking gold coin.
Pull again.
Cherry gold coin. Fuck.
Pull again.
That's it. And after a while, your whole life, your whole shit becomes that, and you forget about what your troubles are.
Holy shit.
So that's what they do. They said women with gambling habits are more likely to fall into the second category, the escape artists. They're not usually, there are some, but they're not usually, 95% of the thrill seeker gamblers are men. That's just how it is. A 2005 article about female gambling published in the International Journal of Mental Health and Addiction said that electronic slot machines, like alcohol and drugs, can be used for mood management.
Wow.
Yep, it'll regulate you. They said many women with gambling problems are seeking a way to numb emotions, shut out the world, and orchestrate a timeout. Just basically, this is, I'm here now and you can't get me type of thing. They said in the article, as the gambling problem progresses, many women become more and more isolated as well. And this exacerbates feelings of loneliness and shame and guilt that they have from gambling in the first place.
Okay.
So it's just it's a big snowball that goes down a hill, and at the bottom of it.
Nothing to do with winning.
Nothing to do with winning for them. For men, it has everything to do with winning. It's the stakes, the high stakes are big, but only because that gives them more adrenaline. It has nothing to do with the actual money.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to do that so I can buy that fucking, condo for my mom down in Boca Raton. Yeah. That's not what they're doing. They just want to win. They want the feeling of the win. That's why if they win $100,000, they just don't go awesome and leave.
Yeah.
They're like, if winning $100,000 feels like this, what's winning $1 million feel like? I got to find out. And they do that. That's why I'm not a gambler. Because I'd go $100,000. I go $100,000, and I'd be gone. You'd never see me again.
I'd never gamble again.
No, that's because we're not gamblers. We don't have that thing.
Yeah.
We don't have that thing. So, and during the investigation, they figure out that Lois has withdrawn from friends and family in the last couple months.
Oh.
So they're thinking this might be part of and this is all just a theory they have at this point because they don't have Lois. They don't know where she is. So they have to talk to people and try to put together a psychological profile of her, essentially. And they think because has been withdrawing, maybe that's because she's been gambling more and more, and maybe that could have caused this. Who knows? That's what they're trying to figure out. One of the family members said, I don't know if it was a condition of her addiction, but she'd cut ties with a lot of people, family and friends. A lot of people we talked to said, yeah, I know Lois, but I haven't talked to her in a while. That was the general consensus.
Okay.
Now, there's a place they go, and I'll show you a picture of it in a little while, called Diamond Joe Casino, and Diamond J-O, Joe. And it does not look like a casino.
I believe it. Yeah.
It looks like a rural gas station without the gas. That's what it looks like.
Didn't we drive by one of those in Oklahoma?
Oh yeah.
That?
Oh God. No, it was in. It was. It was on the way from Kansas City to Oklahoma City, and we were like, "That's a casino." But imagine that, but shitty looking too, but run down.
Really?
Yeah, it was. It's not good. The Diamond Joe Casino. Dave occasionally went with Lois to the Diamond Joe, but he's not a real big gambler. That's not his thing. It's her thing. So they said that it had been a problem. Lois, they found out, had bilked several worm farm employees out of some money. How much can you make on the worm farm to be bilked out of money? That's terrible.
And why?
Well, apparently she was getting, quote, donations from them to everybody pitch in to get a golf cart for Dave so he could shuttle around the property and get back and forth from the business to the house and all that shit. So a lot of the employees pitched in for this, and then she never bought it. So nothing. She just got a bunch of money and gambled it away. That was it. That was her way of scamming money. One family member suspected that she went to the casino with money designated for the interment of her father's remains. Okay. There's gambling problems, and then there's taking the funeral money and gambling at gambling problems. That is wild.
Is it?
That
is
is
a place to put ashes, or was it an actual grave?
No, it's ashes.
Oh, boy.
They're supposed to be a thing. So his ashes had sat in her house for many months after his death because she was supposed to do something else with him. Instead, she's sitting there with the poor guy's fucking ashes in a bag because she gambled away the money she was supposed to use. This was in 2014, so this was 4 years earlier. Her son, Braden, says that, and this is insane, after her father died, she got a $500,000 inheritance from the father. She gambled it all away.
No.
Gambled away a $500,000 inheritance. This guy saved up this money his whole life. Gave it to her, and she pissed it away. And
she got
like
rid of
nothing. Like nothing. The son, Braden, said it was all secrecy. Gambling's a terrible thing where it can suck people in and destroy lives. Yeah. Gambling's worse than drugs. It's worse than drugs. It is.
To me, it's worse. Lives so much worse, yes.
To me, it's like this carnivorous fucking, like a carnivorous worm that, because I want to talk about worms here. Yeah. Carnivorous worm that can just get in and eat everything. It's like a locust.
It might be worse because you don't see when somebody's fucked up.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? You can see when somebody's fucked up on drugs or
drugs.
alcohol.
You can see it. You can see it. They go to work and go, Jesus Christ, Dave, you have a problem, man. You can't.
Get it
I don't know why it was
together.
Dave, but you can't show up smelling like this and doing all gambling.
Where have you been?
Until you see who they've been stealing from or whatever, you don't see that it's a problem. And if you have $500,000, it's not a problem.
You're not. Yeah,
that's legal for you to piss your own money away. That's the other problem. There's nothing illegal or immoral about it, even.
It's more of a disease, and an awful disease, because when you have $500,000, you don't have to gamble anymore. And then you made that disappear gamble. How? Why?
Trance-like state.
God,
remember?
Fucking
It's not
shit.
about the big win. And it's crazy. I don't get it at all. I really don't.
Oh, my.
But that's just me. But to me, gambling is, and I don't care if, it's legal. People should, you want to piss your money away, go ahead. I don't fucking care. There's tons of shit to piss your money away on. You can buy a bunch of cars that you can't afford. You can buy a bunch of whatever you can't afford. So that's not my fucking place to tell you where to use your money. But it's even worse now because it's right on your phone. You can just pick up. You don't even have to go anywhere.
You can do it from your couch watching whatever the fuck you're gambling on.
Dude, there's people that, like, I read this book about DraftKings and all that kind of shit. And, dude, there's people that lose everything over this shit. Everything.
Every fucking thing.
They are obsessed with it, and it can't be stopped. It's right on their phone, so it's at all times of day, and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
I hate it so much.
They found some other shit here. They found out that her oldest sister, Kim, Lois's oldest sister, Kim, in October 2010, Kim's marriage was falling apart, and she had a fucking mental breakdown. Just boom. So Lois and Dave let Kim live with them. Before they ended up, her breakdown was so bad they had to place her in adult foster care.
What is that?
I've never heard of that before. Apparently, that's like
isn't that rehab?
Like a halfway house for mental illness or something. I don't know.
I can't deal with her. You guys take her?
It's not a hospital, but it's like adult foster. Never heard of that before. So in February 2012, claiming that her sister was unable to perform tasks for daily living or make decisions regarding her medical needs, Lois applied to be Kim's legal guardian and conservator. That's how bad that she took that breakup, Kim. Wow. So she said that she applies for that. According to the forms that she filled out, her sister suffered from bipolar disorder as well as clinical depression and had the cognitive capacity of a 10-year-old. I don't know if she always had the cognitive capacity of a 10-year-old or just this mental breakdown caused this. I'm not sure.
What the hell was going on there?
So there's required annual filings, I guess, if you're someone's conservator like that. So Lois reported that her sister's emotional, mental, and physical states had deteriorated, and she noticed that she noted on the forms that Kim had schizophrenia and Parkinson's disease.
And she got this from a breakup?
Wow, that is. I don't think you can get Parkinson's from a breakup. Maybe all the mental stuff, but
I don't think that happens.
Please don't break up with me. I don't want to shake for the rest of my life. That'd be weird. So she also declared that Kim had obsessive compulsive disorder that caused her to go on shopping sprees and spend lavishly. All right. So they gave Lois control of Kim's finances then because of this.
Boy.
This included a $200,000 inheritance from their father.
Oh, no.
Lois withdrew thousands of dollars at a time from an ATM at the Diamond Joe Casino.
What'd she do with it, James? God damn it.
She gambled it. A court audit dated September 15th, 2015 showed that Lois's fiduciary shit was insane. All this bullshit included a payment of $14,070 on an alleged debt to their already deceased father. She said that she paid $14,000 out of it as a debt paid back the father, who's been dead for 3 years.
Dead, yeah.
3 years. Supposed gifts to Lois's 3 children totaling $15,000 and almost $8,500 in reimbursement for undocumented expenses purportedly paid by Lois. So Kim has a social worker advocate that requested suspension of Lois's role as guardian and conservator. Lois tried to explain it all away, but the court said, no.
I'm just paying bills. You don't understand.
Yeah, no. Guardianship was suspended, And 4 months later, she was discharged as the guardian, and Kim remained under state's care, like to this day, from what I understand.
Oh my God!
That divorce broke her fucking brain. That's sad.
Broke everything.
Broke everything. The Steele County Attorney's Office decided not to press criminal charges against Lois because a judge ordered her to repay $100,534 to Kim. So they said, all right, that's fine. They got reimbursement and retribution, whatever. So
just adding all these dollars up, James, that's so much money that she gave to Diamond Joe.
So much. Diamond Joe is collecting. And, dude, you could build 5 Diamond Joes for $100,000. This place is a dump. It's looks like a one-room fucking dump. It looks like a shithole. So now Lois's attorney from this time said that, quote, Lois is a really pleasant person to be around. She's friendly, caring, warm. She said she really liked her. Now, she's got some other issues, Lois, here. Lois has her own bout of depression. In 2016, 2 years before Dave was found dead, Lois just went missing at one point.
Oh?
This was right after the theft from her sister was exposed here. Dave came home from lunch at Dairy Queen with a coworker. Very good choice, Dave. Those cheeseburgers are excellent. I think it's because the pickles are a little thicker. I think it's so? Something about those pickles being a drop thicker and not so thin and shitty that makes them delicious. I don't know if it's that, the fucking cheese, the bun is soft.
Put mayo on it.
Obviously,
there's a lot of things that they do that just they do the right things.
Good. It's a good little
crisp
cheeseburger.
Lettuce, big thick tomato too. It's just a good goddamn burger.
It's a goddamn good burger. So he asked the coworker who he went to have Dairy Queen with to drop him off at the house instead of the worm farm so he could use the bathroom. I mean, the Dairy Queen went through him. It will go through you. That is one thing. It is delicious.
It does move, yeah.
By the time you get from the Dairy Queen to your house, you're going to need to make a pit stop.
It's like a large coffee in a burger form.
It's what it is. So he walked in the house to go take a dump. Now, this is the thing. I got to use the bathroom quick, which I'm sure there's a bathroom in the worm farm. That meant he's got to drop a deuce, right?
That means this is going to be a sticky deuce.
He comes in with a hot double burger deuce cooking in his fucking in his belly here. He's got a real ice cream sundae brewing in there. There's a blizzard going on. And he walks inside and finds Lois unconscious in a chair.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She overdosed on pills. That's the thing.
Jesus.
Do you call 911 as you're shitting? What do you do? You're like, and then you got to come here. Oh, God. And they're like, are you okay, sir? Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just had Dairy Queen, but she's the main problem.
Is she breathing? Christ, I hope not through her nose.
Jesus, I don't know, man. Thank fuck we always keep this bathroom window open. So she had overdosed on pain pills on purpose, clearly. God. He calls 911. First responders come. They do CPR. She's helicopter airlifted to the St. Mary's Hospital in Rochester. Serious? Oh, yeah. After almost 2 weeks, she recovered. She was in the hospital at the Mayo Clinic for 2 weeks. She just kind of laid low in Blooming Prairie for a while and basically then started going out, acting like nothing happened. Everybody else ignored it because it is small town America. Yeah. They'll talk behind your back, but no one's going to be like, so I heard you're all fucked up. They'll just pretend everything's fine.
Heard you tried to commit suicide. 110 grand is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money there, chickie. So, yeah, and Dave tried to protect her from the gossip and all that kind of thing here. He would just make passing comments saying, she's doing better and, trying to help out with the gambling and all that kind of thing here. He said later on, though, about this day that he found her unconscious, Dave said, quote, that was one of the biggest mistakes of my life going up to the house that day. Yeah.
Whoa,
Dave said one of the biggest mistakes I
her.
ever made was finding her unconscious and saving her. He said that to a friend of his.
Wow.
I mean, he said, it's just, damn it. Life would be easier if that would have happened. So
that's some really dark shit to say out loud.
It is. If somebody would have just cooked this burger to proper temperature, I'd be
one widowed son of a gun.
Man, so the cops obviously think that she has something to do with the death here at this point, clearly, and they're looking. They have there's a U.S. Marshals North Star Fugitive Task Force based in Minneapolis, which sounds really official.
It's like the Texas Rangers, right?
The North Star Fugitive Task Force. We find everything like the North Star.
Minnesota Texas Rangers.
Oh, shit. So they heard speculation that Lois was siphoning money from the worm farm and that Dave was aware of the gambling habit. They said maybe Dave caught her doing this and, something like squandering all his money and he confronted her and maybe that's what happened. And one of the cops said after that, the husband said, I'm done. I'm cutting you off. If you want more money, you can work for me in the business, but I'm not giving you any more. And maybe she got pissed off and whatever. Like I said, going around town, it was difficult because everyone in Blooming Prairie just said, oh, yeah, they're a nice couple. They're great. Yeah, they show up down at the bowling alley and all that kind of thing here. And, and people who knew things about Lois's past, like the theft from her sister and the attempted suicide and all that, they just wouldn't say shit, these people. It's none of my business, they'd say. Just, I don't know. They seem nice to me. It's interesting. One person, Scott Carlson, who's one of Dave's real close friends, said Lois was likable, but you always knew she was a click off. She did some oddball shit, which means I think I would like Scott because of the way he said that.
He said oddball shit?
She did some oddball shit. That's his quote to the newspaper, which means I like this guy. I don't care what you're writing for.
Yeah.
She did some oddball shit, and that's how I'm going to put it.
You can write that if you want.
Yeah, you go ahead and put that in there. I don't give a shit.
Write in Charlie Brown spellings. I don't care, but she did oddball shit.
So apparently they talked about in July of 2016, she had disappeared for 3 days.
This
was another time.
Story.
So Dave discovered some new debts she had incurred and was so concerned that he reported her missing to the sheriff's office. And when Lois returned, she said she'd been visiting a girlfriend in Minneapolis and acted like it was no big deal.
It's all right.
Like normal people just disappear for 3 days.
It's okay.
It's fine. I can't imagine if I disappeared for 3 days and just came home. Sarah would be like, where the fuck have you been? What is wrong with you?
It's okay. I was visiting a friend
I'd be like,
Jersey.
What? I just went. No, yeah, I got a guy friend down in Jersey I've been visiting and up in Albany. Yeah, just went. It's about an hour and a half away. So yeah, I just went up there and yeah, what's the big deal?
What's the problem? I was in Newark.
I don't get it. So media outlets across the world are really enjoying this story because
it's juicy.
It's juicy as shit. They nickname her because all these publications and different sites have to give her a different nickname.
Yeah.
So she's either Killer Grandma, Gambling Granny, or my personal favorite, Losing Streak Lois. That is awesome. The name of this episode has to be Losing Streak Lois because that's fucking awesome. That's
Who
a great
the hell
one.
wrote that one?
I don't know, but hats off to you, ma'am or sir, because that's fucking awesome. Good. That's the best one by far. Granny, who cares about Granny and Grandma? Losing Streak Lois sounds great.
Who cares how old she is and the alliteration you can do there?
Oh.
Losing Streak Lois is everything.
That's everything all wrapped up into one. I fucking love it. So they said that, Dave, everybody's very sad about Dave. One of his friends who goes duck hunting and fishing with him said that, the whole town is stunned and no one wants to say anything about Lois because nobody talks shit here because it's Minnesota. Yeah. Even if they think she killed your friend, they're like, well, I don't want to say anything about her, but let's just
say that to their better half in bed when nobody can hear it while they're reading books. Yeah.
Let's just say that I don't have anything nice to say about her, so I'm not going to say anything at all. That's the worst you're going to get out of somebody. One guy said, it's been traumatic. I never saw any trouble with his wife. I just don't understand it. Maybe he just wanted to see the best in her. Like maybe there was something wrong and he didn't see it. He said there was just no sign something like this could happen. It's devastating. Mm-hmm. So where the fuck was Lois when she took off?
Where'd she go?
Well, on Friday, March 23rd, while they were finding Dave in a bathroom, shot twice, Lois was at the old Diamond Joe.
Right down the road?
Right down the road. Check this. It's a 45-minute drive from Blooming Prairie. So no.
Down the road.
This is the Diamond Joe Casino, Jimmy.
Holy fuck.
That is the Diamond Joe.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the front.
There's
and then
snow on it.
It's a rusty corrugated steel warehouse building. Literally, they turned into
It's a farm.
It's a farm. It used to be for storing wheat, and now it's fucking a casino. That's
now
what's
you can
happening.
Come there and piss away your inheritance.
And your sisters.
Drive her even more mad.
All your husband's worm money down the tubes here. So she went there all the time. It's a farm-themed casino just across the Iowa border.
It's a defunct farm.
It's a fucking defunct farm. Don't act like you built this from scratch to look like an old farm. This is just a building that you could put fucking slot machines in. It's about a 40.
It's like saying this is a KFC, and it clearly used to be a Wendy's.
I was going to say, it still has the atrium out front. Yeah.
It's a Wendy's-themed KFC.
You know how it is. No, that's just an old one. So she's there. She liked to play the slot machines in the high roller room, which are like, $5 and $1 slots. Okay. That's the high roller. Keeps you away from the penny riffraff, I think, is what's going on there.
Keeps you away from the ones that are waiting on that bucket to fill.
Yep.
When they hit it big on the nickels.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. I'm winning all these nickels. And then you got to do math. Well, 20 of them equals $1, so this isn't a lot of nickels, I guess.
This isn't a lot of money at all.
I won 500 nickels. Great. So at 6:30 p.m., she bought a pre-made packaged sandwich from the Come and Go gas station next door.
Gross.
Disgusting. Jesus Christ. Video surveillance shows her, 5'5", 165 pounds, dressed in white slacks, black and white striped cardigan, unbuttoned over a purple T-shirt. Her hair was like Ric Flair bleached to the point of being white. Like, boom.
Eating that don't have to chew it sandwich. Those things are so wet.
Those are so
I've eaten exactly one of them and
disgusting.
threw the rest of it away. Why'd I do this?
That meat you bite it and it all feels like it has skin on it.
Yeah,
like
and it just
To
mushes.
puncture
you don't even
skin.
have to chew it.
This is gross. Yeah, nasty. So as she's buying the sandwich, she said, "Say, if you want to start heading south, would you just take the 35 south to keep going down to the next state? Is that the way? Is that the way to go? You think?" And the guy said, "I think so. I work at a fucking gas station. I don't go anywhere. I make $7.50 an hour. Where do you think I'm going? Here is where I go."
Back.
Yeah, I live at the Diamond Joe, so
they don't even know it.
I shovel hay for them in the morning. She said, "I think so." She said, "Okay, well, thank you." Mm-hmm. And she was going, and wow. So all of the Dodge County Sheriff's Office, Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, they all arrive at the Diamond Joe the next day because they tracked Lois's cell phone there.
Yeah,
but she was gone by then, obviously. So now her children are freaking out. Dad's dead. Mom's disappeared. These are all, what do you tell the grandkids? Oh, I know we're supposed to go to grandma's and ride the ATVs, but one's dead and one's missing. We got a lot of shit going on here.
And we don't even know if they're still there. She may have sold them by now.
No, totally. And they have no idea where Lois is. One of her sons told a cop that she hadn't even opened the Snapchats he sent her. Oh. Which she shouldn't be opening Snapchats at her age anyway, but still.
She shouldn't even have that. She shouldn't
even know what that is. She'd go, "What's that, dear?" I don't know. That's it. I know she's only in her 50s then, but still, 55 in 2018, 57 in 2018 is too old for Snapchat, period.
For sure.
Because 37 in 2018 was too fucking old for Snapchat.
100%.
April 2nd, 2018. So that was March 23rd.
Wow.
We're talking 10 days later here. This is Fort Myers Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Yes. Tess Coster. Remember Tess Coster? Their friends?
Yeah, the couples party at the cabin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where the stakes were going. Well, Tess is down there, and she comes down here also. She's got different places. They live in Minnesota and Florida. She's got a place down here in Fort Myers Beach, and Tess was cleaning the garage of one of the 5 rental units that her and her husband owned on Fort Myers Beach where they wintered. And they take their winter seriously. It's April 2nd. They're still there.
Well, Minnesota is not thawed yet.
No, not at all. But I mean, honestly, if you're going for when it's cold in Minnesota, what do you go from, like October to June? How long are you there?
That's a 7-month wintering.
It's like an 8-month fucking winter. Yeah. So The rest of the year, they owned a car dealership in Blooming Prairie.
Wow.
This day, though, their daughter, Brianna, contacted them to say that a woman had called the dealership and said that she was a friend of hers and she was going to be down in Fort Myers Beach and knew that they were down there too and wanted to meet up with you. So she said that she gave her the address there.
Uh-huh.
Now, she ends up, by the way, Lois is the woman looking for them.
Yeah.
Lois bought a cheap cell phone under the name Stormy Liberty.
Nice.
That is her alias, Stormy Liberty. Okay. Which is really funny because in 2018, anybody calling themselves Stormy anything would have had plenty jokes to come of you know, were a porn star.
Terrific. Yeah.
Yeah. So she ends up finding the address there. It's in a development where they own a bunch of condos, and this is 880 3rd Street, and Lois goes and finds there, and the Costers were always inviting people to visit them down there, so they didn't mind at all. A bunch of earlier here, they had sat next to Dave and Lois at a wedding and said, yeah, you should come down to Florida sometime, stay with us down there. So this is about 1:45 p.m. on April 2nd, and Tess sees a woman with a white ponytail at the end of the driveway checking a notebook in her hand and then looking at the house number. So Tess takes a step toward her, thinking it's some lady there to inquire about one of the rentals.
Yeah.
She says, can I help you? And the woman looked up, and Tess goes, oh, it's Lois.
Yeah.
I know Lois, you know what I mean? So Lois seemed to recognize Tess as well, and then she ducked her head down and muttered, wrong house, and power walked away. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tess watches this crazy woman walk down the street, climb into a white Escalade, and drive away. She's like, there's Lois getting into Lois's car with Minnesota license plates and everything.
Driving off being all Lois.
Well, yeah, what the fuck, man? So she and Rod called 911 because they knew that she was being looked for.
Oh, that's great.
So after an hour and a half, 2 deputies showed up from the Lee County Sheriff's Office, and they knew that Lois was wanted on felony theft charges and also for questioning with Dave's death. Yeah. But they figured that probably that Tess saw her. They said that probably spooked her out of here. She's probably long gone by now.
Okay.
Long gone. So, yeah, they said no problem. They said they provided a couple extra patrols in the neighborhood. They said, we'll send a car by every once in a while, but they're not going to stake out anything or do anything crazy. They said she probably left from here and took the fucking bridge right over to the mainland and is just gone out of here.
All right.
So, by the way, one of the kids said the police down there did a horrible job. Because that really is a horrible job. They went, I'm sure she's gone by now, right?
It's assumed, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the beach. It's a real laid-back environment. I think the cops have the beach attitude, too. That's all. They're like, she's gone now, right?
She's clearly gone.
She's probably gone. I don't know. I'm going to go do some oyster shooters. So.
The bunch of girls from Bama.
Yeah. Jesus. So with some Bama fucking sorority members. So April 3rd, 2018, the next day, Fort Myers Beach, a woman named Pam Hutchison arrives. Now, Pam Hutchinson arrives in Fort Myers Beach. This is on Estero Island, I guess, Fort Myers Beach down there. There's a little island down there in the Gulf of Mexico, April 3rd, 2018. She is there with her longtime friend, Donna Fetro, whose husband recently committed suicide.
Jesus.
So what makes you feel better? Florida.
Let's go to the island. And
wow.
It's 5 o'clock always.
Wow. So this Donna planned to spread his ashes on an island nearby.
Uh-huh.
So now the woman who's with the dead husband, she stayed with her family on Sanibel, which is that island that they're going to dump the ashes on. And Pam Hutchinson checked into Condo 404 at the Marina Village at Snug Harbor, which is a timeshare complex. Mm-hmm. She's staying alone. Now, she is 59 years old, very similar physically to Lois. Very similar. Blonde hair, big smile, outgoing,
foot, yeah.
a little roundish. It's literally, they're very similar physical descriptions.
Okay.
Like if you were going to describe one, you describe her and they go, is that Lois or Pam? Or Lois or fucking, Pam, who are you talking about? So now Pam Hutchinson is, they said, on the verge of change, this article called it. She just got out of a 20-year marriage, just got a divorce. She was living in North Carolina here, in Columbus, North Carolina, which is a small town of about 1,000 people.
Okay.
Not much. She's known for being very outgoing. She is a car salesman. That's what she does, salesperson. She was the top-ranked car salesperson in Virginia Beach.
Wow.
So she's killing it here. That is where she made a life with her old husband, James Hutchinson, and they went boating, and they would go out marlin fishing all the time. They had quite the life together. But they said, her ex-husband said, though, after the divorce, she just wanted to get out of here. Small little country town, that's where she's from. Of course, she had no desire to go back there, so she went to Florida instead.
Yeah.
She'd been trying to buy her own place in Bradenton at the Riverview condos overlooking the Manatee River, which is a short walk from where she worked, catering at an upscale restaurant on called Pier 22. So her friends, or her ex-husband, said the dust had settled in her life from the divorce, and she had finally found a place that was going to be hers. Okay. Now, they said everything was really coming together for her. That's what her friend says. So there's a lot of pictures of her down there, and she's, looking happy. She's hanging out. At one time, she was down there at the Sarasota Christmas Boat Parade, and, St. Patrick's Day at an Irish pub, and, just having a good time.
Doing real Florida shit.
She loved to fish for marlin, stay out late, and vacation in Mexico.
Okay.
She's like Hunter S. Thompson or something, this lady. She sounds like. She's fucking sounds cool.
She likes all the cool shit.
She likes cool shit. Yeah, she's a partier. She's been successful, and now she wants to party a little bit here. Yeah. Her friend said she's real easy to talk to, real, friendly person. Her one friend said she's one of these people that she was too friendly for her own good, trusted everybody.
Oh.
She meets somebody for 5 minutes. If they seem nice, then they must be a wonderful person, and that's her best friend. And she trusts them. And that's not good for everybody, I would say here. So Hutchinson here, Pam, she gravitated to Florida. And she liked this kind of old-timey Florida shit there. She liked this bar called Old Florida. It was an atmosphere and bar, kind of atmosphere there she liked. And she made friends with somebody sitting on a stool. I guess he asked her to move one stool over so he could sit with his friend, this guy that she met, and they started talking, and she was a very nice lady. He said she wanted to know about everything around it, where the nice places were to go, where to eat, where to dance. And so this guy said he told her where they had good live music and all that kind of thing. And after a while, they had mutual friends and all that kind of thing. And before long, she was joining in on pontoon boat rides.
Wow.
So she's very friendly. She had rented for a year in one of Bradenton's gated communities, but her ultimate goal was to own a condo. That's what she was trying to do here. She spent part of 2018 vacationing in Mexico, and she sublet a room to somebody else in Florida while she did that. And, she makes all sorts of friends.
Talking her way onto boats. Fuck yeah.
Talking her way onto boats. The woman she sublet a room to here in Florida said, we got along like mother and daughter. She called me mommy mom, and I called her girly girl. How old is this fucking lady? Because she's 60. So how old are you? 90 fucking 2?
Yeah.
You're 60. No one's mommy mom at this point.
Yeah, even your mom is not mommy. It's just...
That's weird.
Hey, Linda.
Yeah. Hey, listen, when I start collecting Social Security, you're Linda. That's how it works now.
We're doing the same exact shit.
We are. So they said we jabbered and talked away half the night. Mm-hmm. They said Hutchinson made for her famous corn chowder and introduced her to all of her friends. She said we joked and laughed and had fun, and we got to know each other so well in such a short period of time. So I guess this person that she rented a place to had a timeshare down there for a long time and all that kind of shit. So Hutchinson arrived this time on April 3rd, posted on Facebook about the amazing time she was having on the beach, listening to music at Nervous Nellie's from her room. I guess that's a bar. Sure. Watching the sunsets and joking she'd be returning to Bradenton on one of those fancy yachts docked next to her condo. She traveled to Fort Myers Beach. She found a condo in Bradenton she wanted to buy, too. And on Tuesday evening, she had dinner on Sanibel with her friend with the dead husband and watched the sunset. On Wednesday, the dead husband's wife there made a short drive to Fort Myers Beach, and they had lunch outside at a restaurant. And that evening, Hutchinson said she passed on an offer to join her friend for dinner on the other island. She said, I'm going to stay here. Okay.
You're going to be over there spreading ashes and shit.
It sounds depressing.
A little, yeah. I don't want to cry tonight.
I'm good on that. So while she stays here on Fort Myers Beach, she meets another lady, Pam does.
Yeah.
She meets another middle-aged lady that looks very similar to her.
Yeah.
And it's Lois is who she meets. They they went to the Smokin' Oyster Brewery to get some food together.
She really is just going to all of them.
Yep. And Lois tells Pam that she's recently widowed, which technically is true.
It's true. Yeah.
They spent about 3 hours drinking together, and a security camera films them walking toward Pam's condo after that. She apparently, Lois stays with her at the condo that night.
Oh.
She offers, if you need a place to crash, come to my house.
Yeah.
That's how nice she is. She meets a person in a bar, has a couple of drinks with them, and offers for them just to crash out at her house.
Come to my house. She goes and gets on people's boats, so...
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, to invite someone to your house after drinking for non-sexual purposes is very trusting. Really trusting. So Pam had intended to leave on April 5th. That's a Thursday, but decided to stay another night. That evening, she ate an early dinner with her new friend here. That's the night where she ate at the Smokin' Oyster. So she was supposed to leave and stayed. Hangs out with Lois. They have dinner at the Smokin' Oyster. And... they're leaving. They show him sitting at the bar. Hutchinson is in a pink camo baseball cap and a white blouse. And Lois is wearing a blue T-shirt and cream-colored slacks. So they're very friendly, though, and no one's surprised at that at all. One of her friends said she met a lady, and that they were going to go out to eat that night, and that the lady was single too, and that's really all she said about her. Okay. That's it. So I met some other single lady. We're going to go out and party. So I'm not going to go, listen, depressy over here. You're going to go spread your husband's ashes. I'm going to go hang out with another single lady. Someone who's been single a little longer. They're not quite as depressed as you.
She's widowed, too, and she not one tear, just a lot of margaritas.
That's it. Jesus. So at 7:30, not one tear. At 7:37 p.m., Hutchinson paid for a Long Island iced tea, a watermelon margarita, a sweet tea, a Bloody Mary, and a Bahama Mama.
God. Damn.
Wow, that is a variety of all shit that gives you a headache.
It's all vodka, tequila, rum. She's going nuts.
But all outside the Bloody Mary, all of those are headache, like asking for a headache. Long Island iced tea is all sugar. It's all a headache.
And all booze.
All booze and all sugar.
Yeah.
Watermelon margarita sounds like a headache waiting to happen, too. Watermelon, a lot of sweet. A Bahama Mama sounds like
that's rum.
4,000% fucking sugar. With rum. A Bloody Mary is the only one. That's what you'd have after all of that shit to try to feel better.
To try to calm down.
There's one thing that will forever change the way you sleep, and it's the softest 100% organic cotton sheets from Boll & Branch. You'll fall asleep faster, wrapped in the most luxurious comfort. You'll never sleep hot again. With sheets that feel breathable to sleep in, you'll experience the purest softness on night one and feel your sheets get even softer with every wash. Discover the difference with 15% off your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com with code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles...
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
She also pays for a half pound of peel and eat shrimp, a side of chard, and a small chowder. She's living.
No shit.
Hutchinson is living. That night, her friend, the ash spreader, texted Pam from the beach where her family was spreading her husband's ashes but got no reply. She said she didn't think much of it at the time. She said she knows her friend, goes out and she might have had a couple of drinks and she's having
looking
fun.
for fun. This isn't fun.
This isn't fun. Come talk to me while I do some depressing shit.
Yeah.
So Hutchinson's realtor in Braden, Julie Keene, sent her an application required by the Homeowners Association for the condo she was set to purchase as well. They traded text messages, but then this real estate lady didn't hear anything back from Hutchinson after about 7 p.m. And the client, she said, she didn't return her texts over the weekend either. So she thought Pam was having buyer's remorse and changed her mind, basically. That's what she thought. So Friday, April 6th here. This is at 8:30 a.m. So this is the day after the Smoke and Oysters. Okay. At 8:30 a.m., Lori Russell, who's the manager at the Marina Village, where she's staying, the timeshare, received a call at the front desk from condo 404. Okay. She says, the caller says, "Oh my gosh, I slept until 4 p.m. yesterday, and then I went out and met some great people, and I'm going to go boating today." And she said, "Is there any way I could stay for the weekend?" And the lady agreed that to work it out so she could stay for another few days, and they just put it on her credit card that she already paid for it with. So that's no problem. Shortly after 11 a.m. that same day, a woman walked up to the Wells Fargo Bank in Fort Myers Beach wearing a white fedora with a black ribbon around the rim there. She withdrew $5,000 from Hutchinson's account, making small talk with the seller, saying she was staying in a nearby hotel but had just bought a house in Bradenton. Okay. Sounds just like Pam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fucking Pam at all. This woman left the bank, but instead of going boating, she started driving north in Pam Hutchinson's white Acura TL.
Oh, wow.
She went past Bradenton, drove all the way to Ocala, which is 130 miles away from, drove all the way there, 130 miles away, and checked into a Hilton hotel that evening.
Okay.
Under the name Pam Hutchinson. Also got room service, 2 different room service deliveries, paying with Pam Hutchinson credit card, and left the next morning. Shortly after 10:30 a.m., she used Pam Hutchinson's credit cards to make 3 withdrawals of $500 each at a Bank of America drive-up ATM in Ocala. She then continued going north, eventually turning west and crossing the state line, heading for the Coushatta Casino Resort off Highway 165 in the town of Kinder, which boasts the most slots in Louisiana. That's where she's headed.
Next to LSU. All right, listen.
She stole this. She found a woman who looked like her and fucking killed her and stole her identity.
Where the fuck is Pam?
We'll find out here. She ends up at the most slots in fucking Louisiana casino here. She wins $1,500 on a $5 play.
Nice.
She uses a driver's license and social security number to collect her winnings at 135. Those both belong to Lois. It's fucking Lois.
Yep. And
they found her. April 7th, that's when she was at the Ocala Hilton, got room service and all that kind of shit. This is fucking crazy. Now, when they're later on, when they're discovering this, the marshals who are looking for her said, "My belief is she was like, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to jail. Hell, I might as well enjoy myself on the ride." That's what he thinks. She can't escape. She doesn't have a passport.
Oh, so she's got to stay mainland.
There's nowhere for her to go, really. Yeah. She can't, they don't know. So anyway, she won her jackpot and all that kind of thing. She's spotted at the casino there. Later that night, the Acura was spotted by a license plate reading camera in Texas. They have those now.
Yeah.
So soon they put up a wanted poster, a $6,000 reward, multi-state billboard campaign sponsored by the U.S. Marshal Service to find the woman they dubbed Losing Streak Lois. Help us find
$6,000.
Losing Streak Lois. Yeah.
She's going to turn herself in for the reward money to keep gambling.
My name's Pam.
Yeah.
So April 9th, 2018, Lori Russell is checking the units at Marina Village for a possible water leak.
Oh, my God.
So now this is the time when she's still supposed to be there. So Pam's supposed to be staying there. She enters room 404.
Oh, boy.
And noticed that it smells not good in there at all. She figured it was sewage, which maybe was the source of the water problem. Now it's all making sense.
Yeah.
But something seemed very strange. So she went outside the room, found two male guests who were walking by, and said, I'm a little freaked out. Would you guys mind coming in here with me?
I don't like finding dead bodies. Do you guys mind?
So I'm so freaked out, I'm going to head into a dark hotel room with two strange men.
Yeah.
That's how freaked out I am. I'm less scared of that than I am of this.
Wow.
That is something. So they look around. In the bathroom, they find a woman lying on the floor with towels covering her up. Bathroom floor. Short blonde hair, wearing a pink camo baseball cap, white blouse, blue Levi shorts, and Teva flip-flops.
Oh, no.
A pillow, which is perforated by a bullet, is on top of her legs. The shot that killed her sliced through her lower lung, her heart's right atrium and aorta, her esophagus, and her upper right lung. .22 caliber bullet, by the way.
What a terrible way to go.
Ended up lodged in the right cup of her bra.
From the back, huh?
From the back. She had collapsed while her stomach and intestines filled with blood. And she's been dead for several days. Her toothbrush was in the sink. It looked like she got shot while she was brushing her teeth.
Chicken shit.
Then she got covered with a towel. By the way, then there was a towel against the crack under the bathroom door.
Trying to stop the smell?
Then the thermostat's turned down to 61 as well. So as long as it can go before this is discovered here, which is fucking wild. She's been shot twice, once in the heart, once in the side.
Wow.
2 shots with a .22, bathroom floor covered up.
Samesies.
That's
your thing.
That is. The detectives wrote in the report, a bath towel was placed on the floor outside the bathroom and shoved up against the void, creating a seal. And all of, by the way, Pam's credit cards, car keys, driver's license, gold rings, everything of any value is missing. So they found the body. They called 911. They learned that Pam Hutchinson had been staying in room 404. And so the deputies called her ex-husband in Virginia Beach to tell him about it. They interviewed other guests at the Marina Village as well as Pam's friends. They followed her credit card trail, which led them to surveillance videos from the Smoke and Oyster, the Wells Fargo, the Ocala Hilton. And they said, same woman in all the footage. They said, looks like Pam, right age, similar hair color, comparable complexion and build. But by then the deputies said, well, this is Pam Hutchinson.
Yeah.
So that ain't fucking Pam Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Because when they were watching the videos, they go, okay, here's Pam. There she's going here. Yeah. So she must have been alive that day. And then finally they're like, hold on a second. She couldn't have been alive yesterday because this body's been here a couple days. So who the fuck is this? And why does she look just like Pam Hutchinson? So the more video surveillance they watched, the more they saw of her, they started saying, that isn't Pam Hutchinson. That's some other lady that just looks like Pam Hutchinson.
Wow.
What the fuck? So it even placed her in room 404 at the time of the murder. Footage stamped 7:46 p.m. shows them approaching the condo. At 8:34 p.m., a camera captured the woman walking by herself toward the building's 4th floor elevator. She stood in the landing area for 13 minutes, appearing distraught and upset and perhaps crying, then went back to the condo.
Oh, my God.
She was sometime between 7:46 and 8:34 is when she killed this poor lady.
Yeah.
The next morning, video footage captured this woman in the Marina Village parking lot, backing up Hutchinson's Acura next to a Cadillac Escalade, then transferring luggage and other items from the Escalade into the sedan.
This is unbelievable.
Wow. The evening before she was found murdered, a sergeant with the sheriff's office had come across a white Cadillac Escalade with Minnesota plates at Bowditch Point on the northern tip of Fort Myers Beach. It had been abandoned. Yeah. So she ended up dumping that too. Right. He ran the registration, found out it belonged to Dave. It's Dave's truck. Investigators didn't know what to make of it until they watched the surveillance video, and now they're starting to put it all together. And then they talked to Tess Coster, who had called the cops, and that kind of connected all the dots of who it is there. So they said they showed her, they called Tess down to the police station, showed her 3 video clips and 2 photos of the woman making bank withdrawals in Pam's name, and said, "Do you recognize her?" And she said, "That's Lois. It's Lois Reese. I know exactly who that is."
I know that gal.
So Pam's friends here, man, they're all bummed out.
Sure.
Obviously, they had plans with her and shit like that. They were like, "Oh my God." 2 friends of hers said they were going down to Florida. Ellen Britt Watts and her husband said they were planning their annual trip, and they planned to stop in Bradenton to have dinner with Pam, and she wasn't answering her phone. The woman said, "I kept telling my husband something's wrong." Now, you're supposed to have plans with your wife's friend.
Yeah.
They're not answering the phone. She's like, "I know something's wrong." You're like, "Shut the fuck up. Don't." You're like, they're fine. What are you talking about? She's a flake. That's the problem. Yeah. Just because your friend's a flake, I got to worry about it now all night? No, this is crazy. So, they ended up going to a Sarasota hotel room that night, and they said, "We didn't hear anything on Monday, and I kept telling my husband, you need to reach out to Pam." By Tuesday, the couple was in Key West, and finally her husband's starting to worry too after 3 days. It takes us 3 days to come around to that kind of shit. So they got off a trolley tour to get a slice of key lime pie when her husband noticed that he'd missed a phone call. They're really worried. It sounds like they're really burning the midnight oil looking for this lady.
Let's get some key lime pie, and if we don't find her by then we'll call.
Oh, my God. And she got the wife said that I could see the change in his face. Literally, he just looked at me and said, "Pam is dead."
Wow.
That's when they found out Pam was dead. So there is a massive grandma hunt going on in this thing here.
This is horrifying.
This is horrifying.
There's
Multiple
so many women
states
that look like grandmas. You know what
exactly.
I mean? She could do this forever.
She could do this fucking forever. And by the way, the Tess lady said that she is terrified because she says, "I look a lot like Pam. She was coming to kill me first." That's what she thinks.
Wasn't she?
She said, "I know someone who looks like me down there."
Oh,
why else was she going there? There's no other reason for it.
Yeah.
So obviously authorities in Florida send out a nationwide be on the lookout and everything like that. Obviously both victims found in bathrooms covered up by convenient things, and both shot twice with a .22 handgun. Afterward, both times all of their vehicles and valuables were taken. It's pretty sound MO here. It's wild. And they said that this is one of the Lee County's undersheriffs, said she looks like anybody's mother or grandmother, yet she's a cold-blooded killer. The suspect's resources will run out, and she may become very desperate, and she could strike again. So watch the fuck out here.
Yeah.
So they elevated their search for Lois to a major case in the U.S. Marshals Department here. They set up a national hotline, posted billboards in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, and Nevada that read wanted murder with Lois's name and photo, $5,000 reward, and then Crime Stoppers put in an extra $1,000, making it $6,000. Yeah. Widespread media coverage comes in, and tons of tips come from that. Okay. And they're sifting through it, but they can't find shit. The only thing they can find, none of the tips work out to anything. The last thing they have found of her was the Acura along Texas Highway 77 outside Refugio, south of Houston on April 8th at 11:16 p.m.
Spanish refugee? Is that what that is?
That's her. Refugio. That's her. I'm a refugio. So they figured she's headed to Mexico. So they alert the U.S. Border Patrol and Mexican authorities. They said she doesn't have a passport, but she could be trying to get in with somebody that had the ability to cross the border.
And then she'll kill them there and take their identity.
Take all their shit and live in Mexico or whatever. They said find somebody with a passport and assume their identity like she did with the woman in Fort Myers Beach, or someone with access to a boat either. That could be her other plan.
She's
just
so
go around.
diabolical and dangerous.
Yeah, anything's possible. So they said that the cops were just working on this like crazy, going through anything, bills, statements, receipts, electronic devices that might be able to figure out at least maybe her mindset, something. Mm-hmm. So they said that this became personal to them. One of the cops said it became personal after they saw the devastation on Lois's 2 older children. They said the youngest, Braden, didn't have much to say after his appearance on Inside Edition. Bill and Bria, though the older ones, declined to talk to the press entirely and cut short phone calls from this reporter here. But they worked closely with investigators to try to locate their mother and find out what happened. They said, this is the cop said, they're really, really nice people. I was highly motivated to bring this case to closure. Yeah. Everybody seems nice except for Lois. So the day the body was discovered, April 9th, 2018, South Padre Island, Texas.
Oh.
All right. Narrow strip of land in the Gulf of Mexico, the southernmost tip of Texas. Right. And it's, people go there to vacation, obviously. April 9th, 2018, a middle-aged woman with blonde hair checked into the island's Motel 6. She requested an out-of-the-way room and paid in cash in advance for a week's stay. Oh. 2 days later, in the early afternoon of Wednesday, April 11th, she left room 227, which just puts the 227 theme song in my head from the 80s sitcom. Fuck, damn it. Now that's in my head for the rest of the day. Room 227, and walked across the parking lot to Padre Rita Grill for lunch. The owner, Kathy Lafferty, described as a friendly 61-year-old woman with blonde hair, greeted her and complimented on her cute outfit and matching hat. What's your name? She says to her.
Uh-huh.
The woman said, Donna.
LaDonna?
And she said, like Madonna? And she said, yeah.
So now she's LaDonna.
She goes, but I just go by Donna.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But she literally went to say Lois and was like, I can't say Lois. Look, Donna, like a cartoon. Homer Simpson would be better at getting away with that. That's terrible. So they started hanging out, going around the island. A woman who looks just like her age, all that shit. This woman is introducing her to her friends. This is LaDonna, goes by Donna. Ha, ha, ha.
This is Henry. Oh, Henry? Yes.
So she decided to stay for a little while. She said, I was going to leave, but I think I'll hang around here. This is pretty nice around here. Donna returned to the grill the next day in the evening. Every day she would come back, and there's live music, so she'd come back at night and eat and do all of that. This Lafferty said she was a happy person, laughed a lot, a delightful person. I probably would have hired her if she asked for a job. She said Donna liked to sit in the corner of the bar where she could talk to people on either side of her.
Stop calling her that.
She was sociable, striking up conversations with waitstaff and other customers. She'd mentioned that she'd been in Florida previously, but found it overrun with old people.
Yeah.
She said she's recently widowed, had come into money, and was looking to buy a condo. She was asking locals about property taxes and homeowners association fees and things like that. She always paid in cash from a large wad and tipped generously.
God damn.
So the grill staff liked her. They all thought she was cool. One lady, Laura Giacchino, who was a waiter there, said, I would have invited her to my house.
Well,
they said that, quote, Donna flirted shamelessly with the Padres Rita's bartender, Arnie, who was several years younger than she was.
Yeah.
He flirted back because he's a bartender and he works on tips.
That's his job.
But then she asked him out and he had to go, no.
Oh,
no. She asked him out.
She was for real.
I fuck women half my age, not half your age.
Not twice my age.
Not twice. It's different. So she made other friends. She met Isabel Barrero at the Motel 6. Barrero, who was 52 and lived in Alamo, had come to the island by herself for a short vacation. And yeah, she thought that's nice. And Donna's another woman who came here by herself. That's cool.
Yeah,
another older lady coming out by herself. Someone to talk to. They hit it off, had a couple drinks, and sat chatting it up there. Donna, quote unquote, explained to this lady that her husband had died. And this lady said she teared up as she spoke about her husband dying. And this lady said she didn't ask questions. She didn't want to be nosy. She's, you know, whatever you want to tell me is fine. Over the next 2 days, they had lunch, went shopping, hung out in each other's motel rooms, sat on the beach. Donna posed for photos with her new friend.
Oh, boy.
You are wanted everywhere. You're posing for social media photos like a fucking moron. Her friend here said she wasn't shy with the camera. She wanted me to take pictures of her. Wow. Amanda Camacho, the Motel 6 clerk who checked her in, later said that she transformed from looking like an elderly lady when she arrived into someone more provocative, wearing short shorts and tank tops.
Oh, my God. She
is a chameleon, this
What
lady.
is going on?
Picture a chameleon rolling dice. That would be her logo.
And she's trying to be somebody else now so that she can find that person and just be them.
And be them. That's it. And just not be Lois anymore.
God.
It's easier. They said also on her stomach she had what looked like a fresh tattoo.
What? She got a belly
She lost
tattoo?
her fucking mind, bro. Depicting a palm tree and a beachside sunset. Because that's her new life now.
She got an island life tattoo?
She went from a fucking Minnesota worm farm, killed her husband, and a month later she's fucking Miss Beach Life all of a sudden.
She's got salt life tattooed on her belly.
What the fuck is going on? So how does nobody recognize her in South Padre Island?
What's going on?
Well, apparently this South Padre Island nobody watches the news there. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're an island. They don't give a shit. They're not. They're here because they're to get away from the outside world. So whatever's going on off of this island really doesn't affect me any, is the way they look at it. They don't give a shit. So there's literally nobody watching the news. Nobody cares. That's it. I mean, she is 30 miles from the Mexican border, by the way.
Oh, she can smell it.
She can definitely smell it. I can smell it. She's in Texas, so she can smell something. April 17th, 2018, she's still out here.
Wow.
April 17th, she's making all sorts of friends here. April 17th, she meets Ron Mulholland at the Padre Rita bar restaurant there. He's a 76-year-old man who owns several condos on the island.
Will he fuck her?
Let's find out. He stopped in for dinner at about 9 p.m. and sat near her at the bar. So ooh, there's a younger lady. I like it.
Yeah.
They chatted it up for about an hour at the bar before she accepts his invitation to go to the Coral Reef, which is a karaoke bar just up the road there.
Oh, boy.
He ends up dropping her off at her motel later that night, but gave her his business card and suggested they get together again a little bit some other time. Oh, it's a smooth move.
That business card is real impressive.
How about that right there?
Yeah.
Pow! I don't even have to write it down.
It's bone.
So more people kept befriending her all the time. Bernadette Mathis, a 65-year-old lady. She's a court reporter. She's sitting alone at the bar of Liam's Steakhouse and Oyster Bar. They struck up a conversation. After dinner, they exchanged phone numbers.
Yeah.
Lois texted her later that night saying, bragged about my new friend. Be good and safe. I want to hang out soon.
Okay.
All right. And this lady said she didn't have a lot of friends outside of work, so she was happy with the prospect of making a friend.
Sure.
A lot of older people don't have friends.
Yeah.
They move away. Their friends move away. Their friends die. Their friends, they run out of friends. They don't have a lot of friends. They have family, but who the fuck wants to hang out with your grandkids 24/7? You want somebody your own age who gets a reference maybe that you make, you know what I mean? Shit like that. I don't know. Understands your Dick Van Dyke Show reference from 1963, something. I don't know.
Quoting season 2, episode 7 of Happy Days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You remember when Fonzie jumped the thing. Yeah, obviously. So the next night, they met again for dinner at Liam's. This lady didn't make it through her second drink, though.
Oh?
Normally, she could put some drinks away. This is a South Texas, lady here.
She's a hard drinking gal.
But man, this is not a drink and a half, and she is ready to pass out.
Really?
So she's like, I've never been able to not handle my alcohol like this. How strong did you make these drinks? Ha, 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 to the bartender. The bartender wondered if someone slipped something in her drink because this is real weird behavior. Later, this Mathis has a fuzzy recollection of how she and Lois ended up back at her house. They sat in the hot tub, and Lois spent the night in the guest bedroom. There's security cameras throughout the residence, by the way.
Oh.
Inside the house.
Weird.
So if Lois brought her there to kill her, she couldn't because it's all on camera.
Yeah.
And she saw it. That's why. The next morning, Mathis took Lois out to breakfast at the Rancho Viejo Country Club. Mathis noticed that Lois took out some pills. She had a few kinds and took one. After breakfast, Mathis drove Lois back to the Motel 6. They already made plans to meet for dinner on Friday, April 20th. She said, she acted like a really nice person, and I trusted her. Peggy Houlihan met Lois at the Motel 6 pool one day with Isabel Barrerio. How about just lay low? You're wanted for fucking 2 murders in 2 states.
This is 12 people she's hung out with.
This is crazy. She's a musician planning to perform that evening at Padre Rita's open mic. Ooh. Yikes. That's rough. Houlihan had her guitar with her, and the 3 women sang some songs together. Barrerio recorded it. Lois seemed to be happy to be included in the whole situation. Yet this Houlihan, Peggy Houlihan, said something about the situation made her uncomfortable. She said that Lois was pressuring the Barrerio lady to stay on the island longer.
Already?
She didn't get it. Yeah. Now, this Houlihan said she wondered if the 2 women might be like together. Or if maybe that's what Lois was trying to do, was trying to hook up with this lady. She didn't know. Later that evening, Lois arrived at the Padre Rita before Barrerio and joined Houlihan at her table. Barrerio had decided to stay an extra night, but according to Houlihan, the open micer there, Lois seemed agitated and seemed upset that this Barrerio lady might have departed the island without telling her. But when Barreiro finally got there, Lois took her to a separate table, and they ended up leaving later on, the 2 of them, without saying goodbye. So the open mic lady here said, I didn't know till the next morning that Isabel was okay. Okay. Now, Isabel came to me to say goodbye, and, she knew that she wasn't dead, so that's good. April 19th, 2018, Dirty Al's.
Yeah.
Dirty Al's, which claims to serve the best seafood on South Padre, by the way. Okay. Because I want dirty in my name of a seafood restaurant.
That tells me how clean it is.
Yeah, no shit. She asked to look at a menu, and a waiter chatted with her for a few minutes. Across the room, the manager, George Higginbotham, was watching, and he said, the woman looked familiar. The hair, something. He said, I have seen her before. Who is this lady? Then when she did apparently she has a really, really, really distinctive hair flip that she does all the time.
Yeah.
And all the videos, they say you can tell it's her because it's her hair flip. You can see, you're like, is that her? And then she'll do the hair flip and you go, oh, it's her. So
that's why
this
she plays
guy,
slots, James, because she has a tell.
She'd be terrible at poker. So he's watching this, and he sees her do a hair flip, and then it clicked. He said, CBS this morning. I saw her on the fucking news. That's where I saw her.
Uh-huh.
Right? So, interesting. So she gave the menu back and walked out of the restaurant. She said she didn't want to eat at a bar, and Dirty Al's didn't have any seating available, only the bar. Okay. So she said, never mind. So the manager told the staff, that's her. That's the woman who killed the lady in Florida. And they were like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about,
George?
George?
It's a murderer. I swear it.
George, how many fucking blue drinks have you had already today? This is crazy.
How many fish bowls you drank?
Yeah. He said, it is. I'm serious. He said, go see what kind of car she gets into. Go see what kind of car. So one of the employees goes out and looks, and it's a white sedan. And he goes, that's what that fucking murderer's driving. They said she's driving a white sedan. So, okay, they call the cops. And the cops, U.S. Marshals, everybody arrives at Dirty Al's. And not to shut the place down for some kind of health code violation either, which is the surprising part.
Yeah.
If you're just eating in that restaurant and you see the whole posse come up, you're like, oh, God, how bad is it in that kitchen?
Just
holy shit.
Spitting their oysters out.
Oh, God,
I
Jesus.
Knew it.
Fucking knew it. I told you we shouldn't go to Dirty Al's. You said it was kitschy and cute. Fucking this is bullshit. So this manager, Higginbotham, told the marshals that Lois was wearing a yellow tank top and white shorts and that her car had Florida license plates. They said, do you have surveillance footage? He said, I absolutely do, but I have no idea how to retrieve it. They set it up for me. I don't know how to get it. Thank fuck I haven't needed it till now.
Nothing's happened since I've installed it, so I haven't had to look.
No idea. So the marshals were like, okay, well, we'll go try to find her. And they said she was looking for a place to eat, so check the restaurants. So they do. They just look in every restaurant till they end up at the Sea Ranch restaurant right next door to Dirty Al's. And there's a white Acura parked outside with Florida license plates. So they secure the restaurant's exit. Several marshals and local cops enter the Sea Ranch and surround Lois. They said she was sitting at her preferred location, a corner spot at the bar. One of the marshals picked up her purse and said, Lois, we're going to take you out of here and explain what's going on. Don't make a scene. In other words, they didn't whip the guns out and said, hands on your head right now, which to me is crazy because she has a gun.
She's a murderer.
And will use it. And they just took her purse. I guess they figured the gun was in there, and they said, don't make a scene. Basically, let's not fuck up this guy's night of business here.
Your Colt's probably not on you. It's probably in here. So
or in your room or something. So they said Lois complied without saying a word. And they said, that's really interesting. Because the guy said, usually a fugitive, this kind of fugitive, will either resist arrest or be like, what are you talking about? Right. Feign ignorance of and innocence of the whole thing. Or
who's
say...
Lois?
She's not her. Yeah, this guy said she didn't have a single emotion on her face, like she was waiting for it.
She was tired.
She might as well have said, what took you so long? Like she was that close to just saying that,
I was going to have to kill somebody that's friends with open micers, for God's sake.
I was going to do it. So they end up, everybody comes in, the crime scene units, everything like that. They took DNA swabs from Lois, obtained warrants to search the Acura. Room 227. At the Motel 6, they found Marla Gibbs and Jacquet in there. It was terrible. They found a map, a brochure from the Lucky Eagle Casino, of course, pill bottles, piles of clothes, including the white fedora she was seen wearing in surveillance videos when she posed as Pam Hutchinson. They found tissues, soap, and a green and white towel stolen from the Marina Village.
Wow.
She
steals towels.
She's a towel soap stealer. That's hilarious. A small stash of Lifestyle's Ultra Lube Plus condoms.
What?
She was planning on getting some action just in case. You never know. Wow. Hutchinson's checkbook, 4 credit cards, and $548 in cash.
That's all she had.
That's all she had left.
Wow.
They found a black bag with bullets, a holster, duct tape, and rubber gloves inside.
Oh, my God.
2 handguns, by the way. 2. A Colt Woodsman 22 that her father gave her, and a Smith & Wesson 9mm as well.
She hasn't even used that yet.
Nope. That's what I'm saying. She had plans, dude.
She was going to do this for so long.
In a blaze of glory.
No,
she was going out. This is not fucking around here. Then they found a trophy.
What?
They found a fucking trophy. They found Pam's sunglasses wrapped in a hand towel and hidden. That's a trophy. That's not to use.
Glasses.
Not to use them. Not to. Everything else was for utilitarian purposes. This is a trophy.
The sunglasses.
You sick fucking lady, man. The Dodge County Sheriff Scott Rose said, I think she was just waiting to be caught because she went so peacefully. They said she was just sitting at the bar, drinking, having a good old time. Wow. Do you ask to down the rest of your drink before you're taken away forever?
I did pay for it.
I feel like you go, let me finish this, right? Just bang, and then you got me. So, searching her suitcase, that's what they found, all of that. And they think she obviously had someone else lined up, Bernadette Mathis here.
Yeah.
She had dinner with her. She stayed in her guest room. She believed that she had been targeted as the potential third victim. Luckily, she was caught probably right before she was going to kill her.
Yeah.
Which is, it was probably that night she was going to kill her. So that's crazy.
That's how expensive eating out is, too, by the way. 11
it'll burn
go
through everything. No, especially in resort areas.
Yeah, resorts at the bar, drinking and eating fucking whatever that shit is.
I was talking to a guy who he does well for himself and all this shit, and him and his wife, he's an older guy, they go down to Key West all the time, and he said they were in Key West for what was it, like 4 weeks or something,
Yeah.
and they spent $9,000 on food.
Oh my God.
$9,000. Luckily, he's a successful guy and owns a restaurant.
He's doing
But
all right.
$9,000 on food in 4 weeks. He said it was more than the rental of the place on the beach. That was like $5,000, and the food was $9,000. I was like, holy shit! One, that's an expensive vacation. Two,
Yeah.
and he goes, that wasn't even like we weren't eating like lobster tails every night. I go, that was you go and eat a chicken. It was $48 for a chicken breast and some rice. It's fucking crazy. These tourist spots will fucking get you when you're down there.
Those people are doing great. Those people vacation in Turks and Caicos.
Oh, yeah. That's, man.
The people own
so
those resort
expensive.
places. They go down to Barbados, for Christ's sake.
Oh, yeah. There's those islands down there, too.
Yeah.
There's a whole, Anthony Bourdain has this chapter in one of his books
Yeah.
where he talks about going with some lady, and he loved this one guy running a restaurant, just fucking rich people over.
Yeah.
He goes, this little guy... Little dirty guy makes terrible little pieces of chicken on a barbecue, but because he's got this little spot of beach, famous people kiss his ass to pay $150 for 12 cents worth of chicken. It's fucking hilarious.
He goes to Thailand for like a sex vacation.
Yeah, that's how he gets away. So South Padre Island locals find out, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
One person says, well, this is the Lafferty lady, said, we had no idea when she was here she was a murderer trying to hide. You just never know people you see on the street or walk into your bar who they really are.
We
No,
got to
you
get
don't.
some TVs with CBS on them.
Fuck, man. We got to get some cable in this bitch. Anybody have the internet? No? It's only 2018.
Down here or something.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So ask Jeeves. I don't know. Fucking 20 years ago internet give us. We don't care. So, yeah, people on there all freaked out. Isabel Barrero, Bernadette Mathis, Carol Lafferty, all women who she fooled and were friends with. And they're all like, any of us could have been the next victim. They're all around her age, all in, it's identity stealable range.
Wow.
It's fucking wild, dude. It's fucking crazy. The Mathis lady said that she showed up for their dinner scheduled on April 20th, didn't know she'd been arrested the day before.
Hilarious.
When she asked around, she learned that the woman she knew as Donna wasn't Donna.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually the murderer from Florida and Minnesota. She said, I felt very betrayed. I feel stupid that I could be so gullible. It's just scary, very scary to meet a stranger and think they're going to be your friend and they turn out to be a killer.
Right.
Yeah, I would say so. The Tess Coster lady said she was awfully freaked out and everything like that. She said maybe, the Tess Coster lady said, maybe Lois was hoping she'd find one of the rental units empty and she could squat there. But she says, she says, I look a lot. She said, I have blonde hair, same age. She was here for a different reason. I know what's up. She said, she said, I was afraid for my life. She turned me from that small town trusting person to having a loaded gun by my bed.
Whoa.
That's a big switch there.
Yeah.
They said that she is now very famous across the country, losing streak Lois, all this shit, which I love. People didn't understand it. People trusted her with their kids.
Really?
She did daycare. They're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And this level of violence and this level of everything is all very rare for women murderers, by the way. Usually it's a utilitarian crime. Right. And it's even to get to what, like, I got to kill my husband because I want to go be with this guy.
Right.
Or I got to kill this lady because she's trying to fuck my husband. Or I want to kill him for insurance. It's very point A to point B.
Get rid of the kids because I'm crazy. Or kill him because he's beating me.
Yeah, exactly. But it's either way, killing somebody to go on a gambling spree is a very male thing to do.
That's unbelievable.
It's very odd. So they thought that was really weird. They said the cops said it's rare for women to kill at all, but when they do, it's often an exceptional event, the result of jealous rage or the need to protect themselves or whatever. Yeah. They said she didn't fit a profile because you don't have enough people to make a profile like this.
Right.
They said there isn't enough of her to even make a profile of what this is.
She's
an
heard
outlier.
Of it before. Yeah.
She's a total outlier.
She turned $16,000 into $538 in
that's
3 weeks.
Quickly. That is from a forensic psychologist in Minnesota named Tricia Aiken said that. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, reactions are pretty crazy. Ellen Britt Watts, who's Pam Hutchinson's cousin, said she's sympathetic with the challengers here. She said she wishes things had gone differently. She said, nothing against law enforcement because I know they had a real hard job, but I think they missed a big opportunity when that couple reported her being on Fort Myers Beach on April 2nd.
Yeah.
She's not for nothing, but she said that she would have been alive. She said, that's ridiculous. They won't talk about it in detail, but the Lee County Undersheriff said, one thing I can tell you, there was no opportunity missed. I know that. Bullshit, you fucking idiot. You're a dummy, Carmine Marcello. You're a fucking idiot.
She drove the whole Gulf because you fucked
up.
Dude,
she was on the island for days after that, fucking conning and killing a person. And he said, we didn't miss anything, I'll tell you that much.
There's a body because of
fucking liar. They literally... The test didn't call the cops and said there's some lady she said it's this lady
Lois
named
is here.
this driving this and this is what she did, and they were like, oh, she's got to be gone by now.
Long gone.
You guys suck, man. Holy shit. They said obviously she was arrested, so hopefully that'll bring some closure to the family. That's what that cop said. Maybe now they'll shut the fuck up is what he said basically.
Hopefully that'll
Wow. It's very also one of her friends, Pam Hutchinson's friends, Judy Wilder, said it wasn't a man who did it. It was a woman. This has me like blown away.
Yeah.
You don't expect a woman stranger to do this. That's the other thing. Women generally don't kill strangers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotion and entrenched shit that comes out.
And in like a really while she's brushing her teeth.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. It's real fucked up. The Chamber of Commerce lady from Minnesota said, when you're a small town and then somebody does something like that, it just makes you feel creepy. Then you wish you never knew who she was. It scared a lot of people. We had so much anxiety in the community until she got found. It's just weird what makes people snap. After she did that, we thought, oh my gosh, what would make her do that? And she said, how can you be such a nice person and then turn into a monster?
Yeah.
True. So did gambling make her do it? That's what they're wondering.
She got a belly tattoo. It's not gambling, is it?
It's I don't know what the fuck it is. And they said that the only most similar case they can find to this is Donna Blanton, who in 2003 shot her husband of 6 months, who was a Virginia state trooper, with his own .380 pistol after they argued about her gambling debt. But that's not to gamble more.
Right.
That was just to get out of getting caught for that. So that doesn't make sense. It's weird.
And to flee the state and continue killing
and
to
gambling.
keep doing this.
They said it's far more likely for problem gamblers to be violent toward themselves.
Okay.
They said 1 in 5 have seriously contemplated or attempted suicide, according to the National Council on Problem Gambling. They said one reason we think there's a higher suicide rate is that people with a gambling problem have fewer options, less help, and less understanding because they've already burned all their bridges by the time they get to that point. They said, we don't want the image of the gambling addict to be a homicidal maniac. These are folks who face a lot of shame and stigma. I don't think they face any stigma anymore unless it's from your own family. Nobody cares what you do.
Or they borrow from their friends, and their friends are all connected via one common thing.
But don't worry, Kevin Hart will still be on television telling you to keep doing it.
Keep doing
it's
it.
Fine.
Don't get butterscotch and raw candy out of your pocket. No. That's just nasty. He makes jokes about it. It's so fun.
Just do that because the NFL hates gambling. That's why they play those commercials. Yeah. They say a number of our patients have co-occurring disorders. It's not a singular dimension illness, talking about gambling. And so they said that this often clusters in families and things like depression, anxiety, bipolar, obviously. Yeah. And they said her mother probably had some kind of problem because she was a hoarder, and her mother was eventually committed to a state hospital for the mentally ill as well.
So that's 2 in the family.
That's 2. And Kim, obviously, we talked about her. And then we'll talk about her sister, Cindy, also had an incident. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh.
She in court, she goes to make her initial thing, and she pleads not guilty. Her initial appearance, pleads not guilty, Lois, and says she has been taking medication for a mental condition.
Okay.
She said, so they don't know. Who knows? They said, could it be possible that she just started having a mental condition in the last few years? I guess only 10% of bipolar cases occur in people over the age of 50. So usually if you're not bipolar by 50, you're not going to be type of thing. They said all these pieces together give you a lot more confidence that there was an acute manic psychotic episode. That's a guy who is a forensic clinical neuropsychologist who has examined 700 murder cases named John Fabian. Okay. Now, March of 2019, she's waiting for court. Her sister, Cindy, that's Cindy with 2 E's, by the way. Cindy. Cindy's at her house about 10 miles southeast of Rochester, Minnesota, arguing with her 37-year-old drunk son, who is currently drunk.
Nice.
He shoved her. Cindy and her husband kicked her out. Kicked him out. Okay. So you got to leave. Shortly after, she found him lying in the driveway and told him to go get the car so she could take him somewhere. I'm going to take you to go get the car. I'm going to take you somewhere. This is crazy. He refused. So she went and got in her 2004 Ford Explorer and ran him over.
Oh, my God.
In her own driveway, her own son on purpose.
Oh, boy.
He suffered a badly fractured pelvis and head injuries. Mm-hmm. When a deputy asked if Cindy meant to run over her son, she said, and I quote, "You bet." Which is so Minnesota. Oh, you bet. Sure. You bet. That's wow. How Minnesota is that?
How funny. And her,
oh
and
my
her sister
God.
has a gambling problem. She still says you bet.
You bet. Everyone does.
Wow.
She was charged with second and third degree assault, criminal vehicular operation, and domestic assault. The morning of August 5th, 2019, she quarreled with her probation officer. Uh-huh. That afternoon, she went to a hardware store in Rochester and purchased a clothesline, then drove to Quarry Hill Park,
my God.
near where she and Lois grew up, walked through the woods to a pedestrian bridge spanning a deep ravine, and hanged herself.
God damn it.
So this family has got issues.
No
obviously.
shit.
There are some mental health issues going on here, clearly.
Oh, boy.
The one sister went completely, balls out wacky when she got a divorce. This is a lot. This is a lot.
What's going on with them?
So why the fuck did Lois do this? Okay. Yeah. There is all we have is theories, but there is a forensic psychologist here named David Thomas who theorizes that when she snapped, she was broke and fiending, which you normally hear for drug addicts, but it can also be applied to gambling addicts. He says when you get into serious financial trouble like that and there's no way out, at some point your significant other's got to go, you know what? There's nothing more I can do for you, so you're left out on your own. The husband says, nope, I ain't going to do it anymore. You've messed up my business. You're stealing my money. If I lose my business, I have nothing left, so I'm cutting you off. And now she's on her own. And she's like, I can't control this, so I'm going to do what I need to do. And that's what she does because she's desperate. That's his thought, is that she gets cut off. And then but still, why would you kill? That's way over the top. December 2019, Lois goes to court. And they want to try her. She's being tried first in Florida because that's where they have her.
Right.
And they're saying, you're going to get the death penalty,
you bet.
Little lady. And she says, well, can I make a deal? So to avoid the death penalty, they allow her to make a deal. And that's all she's going to get is guaranteed is no death penalty. She is going to admit to shooting Pam Hutchinson with a firearm and plead guilty to first-degree murder.
Okay. So that's
also pleads guilty to grand theft of a motor vehicle and other property, criminal use of a personal identification information of a deceased individual. She does not provide a statement, but answers the court's questions, and they said, I will adjudicate you guilty. Mm-hmm. You, losing streak Lois, may fuck off, life in prison without parole. Mm-hmm. And orders her to pay $38,556 in attorney's fees and other expenses. Which she's like, I'll go double or nothing. Hold on. They're like, no, this is the prop. No.
If I had I could double it.
I'll play you for it. So August 2020, she has to go for Dave's murder now up in Minnesota here. Her court-appointed public defender worked out a deal with the Attorney General's office here. She'll plead guilty to first-degree murder of her husband, and the judge tells Lois that, because this is during COVID.
Right.
So she says, remove your mask and let me hear your responses here. Then there's a bunch of questions that we'll talk about here in a second. She said she was satisfied with her defense, was thinking clearly, was unaffected by medication she took for arthritis and high cholesterol, By the way, no mention of antidepressants or any other medication to treat mental illnesses, like she said before. And she said she was pleading guilty because she was indeed guilty. And so anyway, then the judge gets to ask shit. And they asked her, how and why did you do this? Why'd you kill Dave? She said after she and Dave on March 11th, that's the Sunday, she and Dave had attended their grandson's basketball game in Wisconsin, so they did do that. Yep. Lois wanted to stay with her family, but Dave wanted to leave. They left and argued on the drive home. They continued to argue in their bedroom, according to Lois, and then Dave, she says, took a loaded handgun out of the dresser, offered it to her, and said, quote, "Why don't you just kill yourself? Maybe you'll get it right this time."
Whoa, Dave. I don't put it past him.
That's what I'm saying. He told the other, he might have just fucking lost it and said, here. Instead, she said she took the gun, aimed it at his chest, and fired twice.
But that we know she didn't do that, right?
Well, no, he fired once, and then he probably spun to get away and hit him in the back. Okay. It makes perfect sense. Yep. So that actually sounds right. Yep. That could have happened. So they said, "Did you know Dave was dead?" And she said, "Yes." And they said, "What did you do then?" And she said, "I laid down with him." Oh? The judge said, "What was that? Pardon?"
Yeah. What cold shit did you just say?
"I laid down with him. I closed my eyes." Uh-huh. And the prosecutor said, "You made the decision to shoot him." And she said, "Well, he was right in front of me, and I looked at him in the heart and shot him." Yikes. So it was on purpose. The family in attendance did not react at all to this, but they made their feelings known during impact statements here. Sure. This is a social worker, read the first one on behalf of Dave's elderly mother, who couldn't come herself. "When you killed David, you took my heart. David was this family's ray of sunshine. I will never forgive you." Said that she's just such a cold-blooded murderer. She could satisfy her gambling addiction, and that she left him laying dead while she partied and gambled just like before. Yep. Oof. Lois's firstborn, Bill, that's her son, approached the podium. He said, "You stole something from us we'll never get back. I'll never be able to forgive you." Then he said, "To the hurt you've caused my kids, your grandkids, God, they loved you so much." Loved, that's painful. Right. Then her daughter was the last to speak, and she said, "Losing my dad at the hands of my mom is something I'll never be able to process. If I could go back in time to make sure my mom got the help she needed and never killed my dad, those are thoughts that constantly haunt me." Wow. Lois speaks. What? She's got it, because right now she just looks like a cold-blooded psychopath, so she's got to say something. Yeah. Okay. She says, quote, "What I did is an unpardonable crime. Solitude is forever. I feel I deserve this. I will have no reprieve. My life without David is my sentence, my penance. Our children are loving, caring, strong people. It's because of David's strengths the way that they are the way they are. My best accomplishment was having our children." She then apologized to the family, saying that she felt bad from taking him from you, and then turned to her children and said, "I feel I need to say this. I didn't know how much pain I was in until I wasn't anymore."
Oh?
The judge says, "You, sir, or ma'am, or grandma, you gambling granny, may fuck off. Mandatory life sentence without parole."
So she got two of them.
Two. And the deal is she'll be able to serve her time in Minnesota because that's closer to her family. That's part of the deal she made. She doesn't have to do it in Florida. And the judge set aside the charge of felony theft and left open the question of restitution to be determined later, because that's not really important right now. Obviously, the reaction here, Pam Hutchinson's best friend, said she was thrilled that Lois was sentenced, but would have preferred the death penalty.
Sure.
She said, "Oh, my God, I'm so happy. This will give the family some type of closure. I'm just glad she didn't say she was crazy. I'm kind of disappointed, but you got to trust our system. I would like to have seen the death penalty." Mm-hmm. Now, the lawyer, this is her lawyer, said, "I know she killed two people, and it sounds kind of weird, but I genuinely liked her."
Yeah.
She said that then they asked her, "Do you believe Lois, everything she said?" And she shrugged her shoulders and said, "That's her story. That's the story she's been telling all along."
That's what we've heard.
But then the reporter says she then flicked my elbow with the back of her hand as though we shared a confidence and added, why would she lie to me? Like, in other words, it's a murder fucking suspect. So, take that with what it is. The daughter tries to explain it. Braden. She gave an interview to Inside Edition, and she said that he said that it's like living in a bad movie to see his mother, who always put herself second, accused of killing 2 people. He said it's fucking crazy. He said she literally snapped. My whole family is in shock. Nobody ever suspected anything like this. It has devastated our family. He said, talked about all of this, his mother being a suspect. He's like, it's like a bad movie. I feel like I'm going to wake up and it's going to go back to normal, but it's not. She was caring and never put us second. He then said, gambling's a terrible thing where it can suck people in and destroy lives. And he said that as the cops spread out looking for her, he said, I just felt really bad for my mom. I felt like she was alone and desperate, which happens when you're a double murderer. That's a thing that happens.
Yeah, you're pretty well alone, yeah.
So, she's also, they're wondering about later on about the money and all that kind of thing. And the kids don't really care. They said they haven't spoken to their mother since their father's death. And he says, this Braden said, if he ever does get the chance to speak to his mother, he said, I just tell her that I love her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's got everything's
what
gone.
Else? It's all gone. She's fucking done. She has 2 states worth of life without parole. Tess Coster, the woman who almost got it too, said, I'm happy to be alive and I feel lucky. Mm-hmm. That's what she said. So holy shit. That's, it's a lot here. The sheriff said that, we took our time to build the strongest case against Lois for David's murder. So they were kind of happy Florida did their thing first, because then they could build it more. Because there was no doubt what happened down there, all the surveillance footage and all that kind of shit. So they wanted to do that. The test said we even invited them to come stay with us in Florida a couple of years ago, but they didn't come. I'm so glad she was caught. The owner of a motorcycle and all-terrain vehicle dealership that knows them in Blooming Prairie said everyone is speculating. She snapped. What can you say? There's no explanation. Everybody says that because of that fucking show. It has to be, right? Has to be.
Well, she didn't kill Tess because she would have had to kill a guy, too. I think that's what that is.
Possibly, or if she could have taken her away, but I think I'm not sure what was going on. I don't know if she was going to try to sneak up to her and maybe she was just doing recon, looking by, and then was like, oh shit, she's in the driveway and didn't expect it. So it's weird. They likened here her personality split to a switch getting flicked, saying that she went from being a really nice person to being a monster. That's what they said. Yeah. Now, speaking of that, HBO put out a 3-part documentary on this whole thing called I'm Not a Monster.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. And Lois she didn't talk to anybody. Since she got caught, she did no interviews. She turned down everything. Yeah. She does an interview for this documentary. And this is what she says. They said, what the fuck, lady?
Why?
She said it was just the perfect storm. That's what she said. It was just years of abuse and years of giving and neglecting my own mental health and needs. And I don't know. I think the word is psychotic break. I just snapped.
Oxygen. I need a contract.
Wow. She said, I was very intimidated by him. I didn't think I had a way out or could defy him because he was a big man and he was very, very aggressive. Lots of verbal abuse, which I feel is worse than physical abuse. Well, you're an asshole. It's not worse.
But what about the lady in Florida? You can't,
give me a break. I was going to say,
blame him for this.
You can blame him for all you want up there. What about her? That's what I'm saying. I don't up there. Great. We'll let you have that.
Yeah. Sure.
You're innocent. All cleared up, ladies. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Now get to Florida and finish out your life without parole, stupid. You fucking moron. So anyway, about Pam, she said, never. I had never anticipated hurting that woman. Horse shit.
Absolutely hunted her.
She said she reached out to me to be my friend. I just wish I could have been in a better state of mind. I could have been her friend. Are you out of your fucking mind? She says she does not remember killing Pamela and doesn't know why she did it. Please.
You went right to the ATM and took $5,000.
Fucking liar. It's exactly. Yeah, I went right to the casino. She said, it's truly a puzzle because I don't have all the memories and all the answers for that. It was shown to me that I took her life. I still don't know the reason why it happened. I feel absolute remorse and shame. I feel terrible that I took her life and David's life.
$5,000, Lois.
$5,000 and continued use of her car and credit cards. She then said she just got caught up in my breakdown and it was awful. Bullshit. Then she goes on to say, my mother died in a mental institution. I didn't want to die in a mental institution, and that was my biggest fear if I had to go to trial because I felt mentally incompetent. I was in the middle of a breakdown, and I felt that's what would happen. I'd end up just like my mother. Don't worry. We have maximum security prison for you that'll make you beg for a fucking mental institution, dummy. You fucking asshole. Dude. That's the biggest cop-out ever. You're in for life without parole in 2 states. Just be fucking honest.
Yeah, just say it. Just say what you did.
It's one thing to say, maybe, okay, anything could have happened. We don't know what happens behind closed doors with people, so maybe that is what was going on, as nice as they both seemed. But then when they get to an inexcusable one, she can't say Pam was abusing her.
No.
So they get to that, and then it's just, I don't remember what happened then. So it must be.
Your sister recognized her mental break and went to Ace Hardware and solved the problem.
Fucking, that's what I mean. If you would have done that, we're both extremely anti-suicide.
100%
we say therapy's a great thing. If you're going to start killing people,
yeah, right.
Find the nearest pedestrian bridge and hang yourself off it because take yourself out before anybody else.
50
Don't
feet
kill
of
others.
Clothing line. That'll solve the
50. Make sure, you want to get the drop so your neck snaps.
Help me with my fucking fall.
You help me with my fucking fall. God, I love Deadwood. So Lois is now in prison at the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Shakopee. 30 miles southwest, Shakopee of Minneapolis, 80 miles north of Blooming Prairie. So not even that far from home.
No kidding.
And there you go, everybody. That is Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, and a fucking twisted, wild, weird episode, I got to say.
She's out of her fucking mind.
She's dangerous.
And refuses to admit she's an asshole.
Nope. She would have went on killing women that look like her and using their money until she got caught.
As long as she got away with it, yeah.
Period. That's it, and that's all. Would have never stopped. So there you go. If you like that story, I got an idea what you should do. You should head over to whatever app you're on and give us 5 stars. It helps the show out immensely. Really does. Helps drive us up the charts. So thank you for everyone that does that. Also follow us on social media. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, Small Town Pod on Facebook. You certainly want to go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets to live shows, everybody. Get your asses out here for live shows. We can't wait. February 7th, Pittsburgh.
Oh, boy.
Get in there, Pittsburgh. Get your tickets. I'm going to be very honest with you guys.
February. I can't wait.
We're coming to Pittsburgh in February.
Yeah.
Do you know how few people want to go to Pittsburgh in February? We'll go to Pittsburgh in February. Right now, Pittsburgh, we're going to be very honest and let you in. You are the worst selling show we have in the country right now. There are shows 10 months from now that are almost sold out, and you guys are really doing this slow. So I'm going to say this. If you'd ever like us to come back to Pittsburgh, because I'll tell you what, we don't go places where we don't sell out. So if you'd like us to come back, please buy tickets because we like Pittsburgh. We fucking publicly say nice things about Pittsburgh. Help us out here, for Christ's sake.
I love your Three Rivers. I can't wait.
We love the fucking place, man. We love it. Now, get your tickets.
I hate your fucking marathons, but I love your city.
Don't embarrass yourselves. Don't be the only city that fucks this up in the whole country, please. So there's that, and then Columbus is the next day. Get your tickets right now, all the way through the end of the year, and they're going fast. The Seattle show at the end of the year in like November's already almost sold out. Or Portland, and even Philly and DC at the end of the year in December are closed.
And Columbus is almost sold out too. You better hurry.
That's going fast too.
Yeah.
So hang out with us, do that. You also want Patreon, patreon.com, patreon.com/crime in sports, which is the name of our other show, which you should be listening to. So there's that. Get in there. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get a gigantic back catalog of bonus episodes you've never fucking heard before, but you're going to want to hear big time. So get in there and hear those new ones every other week, including this week when you get one Crime in Sports, one Small Town Murder. Crime in Sports, Travis Rudolph, a recent NFL player who just finished up a murder trial. We'll talk about that. And then Small Town Murder, West Memphis 3 Part 2. How the fuck did we end up here?
I can't believe
Who else could have done it? We'll talk all about that stuff. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. But you also get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmy, hit me with the names of the most wonderful goddamn people in the world who would never steal our identities for the purposes of gambling. Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Neil and Gretchen Jones. Holy
Thank you,
shit.
Joneses.
You're wonderful.
You're fantastic.
I can't say it enough. That's so kind of you.
No one's
You're
keeping
amazing
up with you,
people.
Joneses. I'll tell you that right
keeping up
fucking
with
now.
these Joneses. But these people are trying. Andrea Fellows, Jill King, Gary Howard, Meredith McClure, Kevin Brown, and Amanda Clayton. Thank you all very much.
Thanks,
for
guys.
going above and beyond. You didn't have to do that, and we really appreciate you.
Fuck
Other
yes, we
producers
do.
this week are Beth Buell, Janice Hill, Tiffany Gonzalez, Amanda Mason, Jesse with no last name, Courtney Dorr, Andy Cote, or just Cote, or maybe Cody, Kimberly Brown, V. Chobney, I believe. I don't know. Zachariah Ward, Celery Stock 13, Jesse Struthers, Hannah Franz maybe, Franz, Lisa, Bastus Check. Bastus Check. Bastus Chick. Batus Chick? Is there 2 S's that are silent? We'll never know. Fast Frog 007, Prankster 03, Madeline Victoria, Tori Ludwig, Shari with no last name,
Hey.
Brittany Davidson, Billy Welch, Cody Bryant, Miss Taylor XO. Thank you, Miss Taylor. Caitlin Bear, yes. Natalie Arencibia. Thank you, Natalie. Ben with no last name. John Hollamby, Junan Hayes, Jacob Troublefield, Pam W, Casper the Spicy Ghost, Daniel Davis, Melissa Zenzen, Cassie with an ass, James, Griffin. I
She a
guess
friendly
that means
ghost,
she's not. She might be a spicy ghost. I imagine she's telling us that it's not Casey, but Cassie. I think that's what she was trying to help me with, but she's also got an ass. All right, Tim Dennis, Jenny with no last name, Tara Hodgson, Billy Lover, Michelle Bingham, Sabrina Snowden, Maria Tamanaka, Lazara, Jill Crouch, Jay with no last name. This show brought to you by the letter J. Karen Turner, Mandy Colvin, Devin Behringer, Sonia Aliaga, Kate Courtney, Derek Kitchen, Christina Franklin, Jennifer Newsom, Hunter Pickett, Aaron Lilly, Christina Marie, Corey Gaines. Ooh, boy. Wow, is that I wonder, is he trying to make me say something gross with that? I don't know. Sophia Kudik?
It helps. If you want to do that, get someone who's a real good reader, probably.
Sophia Kudike, she could be making me say something gross. I don't know.
You never know. Taylor
Kennedy, S.J., Nikki Young, Mams McGuire, Richard Lee, Jim McKee, Rachel Sanborn, Ray Early, Kim P. She's an LPN in Oklahoma. Casey with no last name. S and C, the letters. S.C. Stephen Charles Walter, Stacy Lee, Amanda Zeringer, Chocolate Diesel. All right, Crystal. Abby with no last name. Amanda Rodine, Ann Hank, Louise Rosalie, Gabrielle Smith, Asty, I don't know, Sean McCloskey, Todd Winiger, LR and H. LRH. I don't know what that is. Lauren Ray, Jim Montgomery, Lacey Fithian, Haley Henson, Dara Jordan, Maddie Brown, Lizzie with no last name, Tanya Knight, Mark Langworthy, Sinead Feeney, Carissa Tucker Ellis, Cindy Jensen, R. Brown, Charmaine Steves, Alec Cornelison, Amanda Thomas, Jennifer Bruno, Stephanie May, Giancarlo Ruffino. Look at me getting good with this Italian shit. Brooke Bullard.
Giancarlo would probably be best, but that's fine. He just pronounced it wrong and then said, look at me getting it right.
Did I say it wrong?
Giancarlo would probably be more,
okay. Giancarlo
Well, Giancarlo's fine, but it's probably like a Giancarlo type of thing. This is what you'd call him in
getting
America.
Real good at this shit.
Yeah. Jimmy's got his fingers out. Jesus Christ.
Ian Ruggless, Evan Rude, Melissa Pavornik. All right. Chase Parham, George B. Jesus Christ. Colleen Walsh. Laura Collins, Catherine with no last name, Kyrie Jensen, Winosaur, very funny. Kate McD, Samantha Coleman, Tanya Martinez, Aaron Logan. Michael with no last name, Dustin.
Devolved.
Like, you're fucking... You're fucking just disapproval. Jimmy's got his fingers up. Jesus Christ.
I was cracking
Chelsea
up. I love
no
it.
last name.
Not disapproval. It's hilarious.
Nikola Jaworska, Kimberly Kunapfel. She may be trying to make me say something dirty. Matthew Marks, Mill Hollow Maple, Callie Swanson, Kenzie Money, Kimber Herzog, Aaron with no last name, Steve Richmond, Jill with no last name, Caitlin Allen, Mitch Hanlon, Eric, Gorgon Z. What? Didn't we just... The wrestler's last name was Gorgon? That is fucking crazy. All right, that's weird. Phoebe Cox.
Stay tuned.
That's bizarre, right? Elbow grease. All right, spelled like French elbow. That's why that's why you're ruining my life. Joy or Irwin. Alex Barlow, Kristen Canton, Cantin, Buffy and Chauncey Cote. Buffy, that's wild. Carrie Rahman, I didn't know that was actually somebody's name. Rahman, Brian Hoffman, Andrew Campbell, Desmona Shaw. Somebody just texted me and said they were sitting on a plane, James, with next to Ice-T and Coco and their kid. That man still flies fucking a regular commercial. It's bananas. Brian Hoffman, Andrew Campbell, Desmona Shaw. I said that. Quizzical Queen and Spikinger. Oh boy.
Sounds
Vicky Hay, Phil Barrera, Logan Armstrong, Beth with no last name, Nate with no last name, Eric Beacon, Roderick Rose, Brent with no last name, Chef Blake 1016, Holly Hagman, Leah Stenulson, yikes. Katie Tracy, Micah Tetrault, and all of our patrons. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate everything you do for us. Fuck, you guys are awesome. Thank you. And keep hanging out with us. Yep. You want to follow us on social media, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Sure. Drop-down menus will take you anywhere you want to go. That said, until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.